things are a matter of doing.
The world's greatest radio show in Tennessee.
That doesn't sound right, but I don't know enough to dispute.
I was about to take advice from a clown who dives headfirst into the shallow end of the booth.
It's Talk Sports with John Reed and Cody McClure.
If it is to be said, so it be. So it is. So it is. So it is. It's a Tennessee thing.
Well, I'm holding on.
Back in the booth, back on the airwaves. Coming at you live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. John Reed, no Cody McClure, Sam Beard, and Maga Jackson, a.k.a. Intern Jackson, a.k.a. Jackson Freeman. Coming in on this Friday morning, getting you set to get you to your weekend. Right off the top, want to send our condolences to the family of Wes Rucker. A lot of touching tributes written by colleagues and friends. A lot of people said the same thing about him being a good family man. And really, at the end of the day, that's the legacy you want to leave, I think. It seems as if that is the legacy that he is going to leave. A lot of heart-touching words written about him. We want to send our condolences to him and his family. Rest in peace to Wes. Sam, top of the morning to you, man. How are you?
Good morning. Doing pretty solid this morning. Been a solid week of I've been in shorts the past couple of days. I wasn't in shorts yesterday, but it is shorts weather. Solid day of Barley Sports trivia yesterday. Shout out to Barley's. Good to get the whole crew over there and in a little healthy competition. Like we were saying, John, for our money, one trivia, before you get to that last bonus question, which is just a crapshoot. So I think Talk Sports is feeling all right this morning. Maybe not Cody, actually.
Yeah, Cody not here. But I will say that we took home the win. There might be a team not at the station that is walking around saying they won the $50 gift card. And that is true. They did, as we missed the last question. But we were in first place after 16 questions. And we did end up beating the Playbook, who finished with 0 points, and the Drive, who finished with 0 points. So we did win the station battle. So first place after, and then you get into the tournament, one and done. The last question was about Major League Baseball jersey sales. Like, who the hell knows that? Jackson, top of the morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Got to say I'm a little disappointed. Much awaited return to hip hop last night. Baby Keem was not very impressed. Felt like after a 4-year hiatus from hip hop to come back with an 11-song album that it didn't really move me. Felt a couple songs didn't have much of a replay value. Didn't like the Kendrick Lamar feature. Was just overall disappointed.
Is this your top guy, Jackson?
No, I really liked his first studio album, The Melodic Blue, 4 years ago. And I just assumed that, after 4 years of not being involved in hip hop, you'd come back with something that had some heat, some fire. And there were some songs where I was listening in the car this morning. I was like, okay, there's some replay value on this, but the whole project, I'd say no, I was disappointed.
MAGA Jackson being a hip hop head is always funny to me. It's a nice character twist.
I love all kinds of music. There's just I come from a music family. Both my dad and my grandpa were longtime piano players in Knoxville.
Am I wrong, or did your dad also perform in Vegas?
He did.
Okay.
He was in a band in Vegas.
Okay.
If that sounds familiar to anyone and you remember Andy Freeman, it's my dad.
Okay. Where did he perform at in Knoxville?
I don't know that he performed anywhere. He taught piano lessons here.
Okay, I thought you had said he performed here, but I guess
his dad played with the Knoxville Symphony or Orchestra, whichever one it is, for a while. Coy Freeman was his name. He was also
Andy and Coy Freeman,
urologist in this area.
Are you a musician?
I was until high school. I chose football. Biggest mistake I've ever made.
It's not too late.
It's not, but finding the
time.
You
chose football?
Yeah, I know. I know.
What position?
Wherever they wanted me.
The bench.
Yep.
That's a grinder right there, though.
Exactly.
Good team camaraderie, but
yeah, no, I enjoyed the team aspect. I liked having something to do because my mom was always, you got to do something at school or you have to get a job. So I chose to do something at school.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
what instrument did you play?
Piano.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I took lessons for 11 years. Not to like toot my own horn, I was really good at it, but
not to brag, but I was awesome.
I
third generation piano player.
I was pretty good at it, but
I can play Three Blind Mice. Ding ding ding.
No, I was big on. I like to learn classic rock songs that had piano solos.
Okay.
So like big one, I could play all of "Jump" by Van Halen. I knew quite a few Van Halen songs. Like "Right Now," I could do that one. It's a big piano song. I could play like "Your Song" by Elton John. I was big into just the classic rock.
Sure.
But yeah, I think about. I kick myself every day thinking, man, I wish I kept with those lessons because I'll approach a piano now, typically after I've had a few drinks, and I can kind of remember some stuff, but nothing at the level I could.
I mean, you kind of look like Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle, and he was a piano prodigy. So, like, it's in your – when I look at you, I see piano player.
Well,
it's not too late to –
it's definitely not.
To tickle the ivories, as we call it in the biz.
It's a little hard to find time for a weekly piano lesson with school.
Sure. We won't be in school forever, Jackson.
No, that's true. That's true.
You'll be out of school before you know it. You'll be out of school before you know it. No Bubba today, which is not. But Bubba's not a 6:30 a.m. call out like Cody was. Bubba, I told yesterday, I was like, "Hey, Jackson's coming in. He's going to do another day behind the board. Maddie will be here in the third hour. You don't have to worry about it. 5's a crowd."
He didn't even say anything when you told him that at Barley's. It was just like
he just stared at
nod,
me,
yeah,
and does a little thing he does.
A little smile, maybe.
Does a little thing he does. Then I get a phone call from Maddie at like 9. It's like, "Hey, John, I forgot to tell you, I'm in Missouri for basketball. I won't be there tomorrow." I said, "Okay, it's all good." And then, we get a text from Cody at 6:30 this morning saying, "Sorry, fellas, not going to make it." Okay, whatever.
TalkSports crew just dissipating on us.
I also feel a little certain way about what Bubba did to me yesterday, to be honest. I want to weigh it out. I want to play it out here and get your opinions, get you guys to weigh in on it. But I was there before everybody else. I got there. I was watching the Drive perform, getting my game face on. And like I'm one to do, I typically, when I'm at Barley's, I just order a large pizza if we're doing an event or something. And if people want to pick at it, that's fine. I don't mind to share my pizza with people. So I get a large pizza. Delicious, by the way. I tell Sam a little too late. Sam ordered his own pizza. But I tell Bubba, I say, "Hey, Bubba, if you get hungry, I got a pizza here. Feel free to help yourself to it." Of course, Bubba does the weird thing he always does, which is acts like he doesn't want charity. He does every time I try to get him biscuits, too. He's like, "No, John, I don't want you to spend your money." I'm like, "Okay, whatever, Bubba. I want my own pizza." "All right, Bubba, that's fine." So he turns down my offer. Somewhat acts offended, Jackson, that I offered him a pizza. Somewhat acts offended, like I want my own stuff. So he orders some nasties looking supreme anchovies and olives everywhere. Gross. I could smell it. I could smell the onions and peppers on. I'm like, stay away from me, Bubba. So he eats that pizza. And then fast forward to us getting first place in trivia through the regular season. And Bubba's getting ready to do his whole weird goodbye thing. And he's like, John, you care if I get a pizza? And I'm like, nah, man, go for it. Get you a piece of pizza if you want it. Although, and then of course, I brought up, I was like, well, I felt like you were a little offended earlier when I asked, but what made you change your mind? He's like, well, I finished my pizza. I was like, okay, well, there's still like 5 slices, man. Go for it. I watch him. I touch his box. His box still has pizza in it. So he takes a piece of my pizza, puts it in his box that has another piece of pizza, and he takes my piece of pizza that I offered him at the event to take home for either a late night snack or lunch today. And I looked at him and I said, I think that's against the rules here. I think what you're doing to me is kind of messed up. I offered you a piece of pizza while we were sitting here so that you wouldn't be hungry watching me eat the pizza. I don't know if I want you dipping into my leftover fun to fund your leftover fun after you tried to big boy me by declining my invitation.
If you ask for that piece of pizza, you have to eat it immediately. You can't make it a reserve piece.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assumed he was going to like eat the pizza as he was going to his car.
I did too, and I would have been okay with that. I still wouldn't have loved it because, again, I was really just offering so we're all sitting at the table, a little team bonding and but whatever, pizza's pizza. I'm not going to let somebody go hungry, one of my friends. But yeah, he opened up his box, lied, something about the P team and lying to me, but lied about finishing his pizza. He still had a piece, but obviously he was smart enough to realize that one piece wasn't going to be enough for a meal later. He needed another big piece. He did take a big piece to put in the box to then fill him up.
I think there needs to be a statute of limitations on food offers.
I think it's just simple. At the table, you don't get to take it.
You have 30 minutes to accept this offer.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay with even extending it past that because, if you're playing trivia, you're having a couple drinks, maybe you get hungry a little bit later. I got no issue with that. It was the lying about finishing his pizza and then taking my pizza home that bothered me.
He ate that slice at like 4 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, probably. There's no telling what that weirdo did.
Probably just ice cold. He's probably like, I got John.
Well, when I called him out, of course, he does his little giggle like, he's caught red-handed, but you can't be mad at the guy. But that's how he went from 5 people, really 6 people. We went from 6 people to just 3 people. No Maddie, no Bubba, and Lord knows Cody can't handle his booze. I hate when that guy tries to act like he's some big party guy. I always say you got to be able to wake up and work the next day. You got to be able to handle your responsibilities.
The worst part is we got 90% of the way through trivia before Cody grabbed a beer.
Yeah. Yeah, it was staring at him like that Green Goblin mask.
Yeah, it was.
It was staring at him.
I feel partially responsible for this. I gave Cody the last half of my beer before I left.
That might be partly your fault.
I'm really sorry.
And the next thing I knew, I was ready to leave, but they're sitting there arguing about doing their whole thing. Cody, I could name any college town. Him and Garrett are going back and forth. Neither one of them could name every college town. Garrett made a claim that he could name every FBS college town if you gave him the school, and then he missed Wake Forest. I'm like, okay, Garrett, like you can't tell me you can name everyone and not know Wake Forest, bro, or Eastern Carolina. I know those. This is like, if you're going to make this claim, you got to be able to back it up. And then him and Cody argued about NBA champions. And Cody dusted him in that. I'm like, what are we doing here? I gotta get out of here.
But that was like trivia after trivia, basically.
Essentially. William was just out there looking at girls.
Did you know that I didn't know the Spurs were the last team in the Western Conference?
Poor William. Trivia last night was egg on his face. If you listen to the playbook or you hear us talk about William, you know how this guy carries himself. But an NBA question in the 4th round, which we swept, by the way, the hardest questions, 4-0 for Team TalkSports, which is why we won first place. The question was, what NBA team in the Western Conference has the longest playoff drought? Us, big brains, we know it, the San Antonio Spurs. playbook, smaller brains, not developed fully because they're not even 25 yet. William, looks like he's delaying. Garrett's running to the bathroom. I'm like, hey, don't cheat down there. And he's like, come on, John. It's the NBA. Really? Really?
You don't think I know this?
Then he comes over to the table afterwards like, come on. Again, seriously. We're not cheating, but I know the NBA, John. I was like, okay. I was like, well, who'd you put? I'm not telling you. And I was like, I've turned my answer in. He's like, oh, you already turned it in? It's the Pelicans, obviously. And I'm like, wrong. And then you could just see the life suck out of his face. That's a bad feeling.
We sat there and he went through he wrote down 14 Western Conference teams and left off one.
And the one he left off was the right answer. The life just got sucked from his face because he realized what he had done.
He did. He looked like he had seen a ghost, honestly.
Yeah. And he knew that he was going to get made fun of for a while about that. Tough for him. Playbook, last place.
Tied with the Drive.
At the end of the playoffs, yes.
Yeah.
Going into the final round, no. You guys had a pretty low score. Pretty embarrassing. You chose the wrong horse, Jackson. You could have ridden with us.
I could have, but I wanted to. You got to show some kind of loyalty.
I will say your team did look good down there. You're all handsome fellas.
I appreciate that.
Well, three of you are handsome fellas. Looking down there at you, I was like, that's a good looking team. Good for them. Not very smart, but good looking.
We tried.
Three of the four. We'll talk some sports coming up next. Kim Caldwell. It's about time to get the moving truck ready. We got Will Warren, Stats by Will, coming on at 9 a.m. to talk some Tennessee Vanderbilt. We'll give you any updates on the Joey Aguilar case that we can round up. It's been a week. Still no news. We'll take your phone calls if you want to call in. Stick with us. Let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
Big Orange Country's home for sports. This is Fan Run Radio.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you: Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day, right here on the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Kicking in the front seat, sitting in the
Great job by you over there, Jackson. Great job. Fantastic. This guy's learning the board. He's a producer now. Look at him. You got him on camera if you're watching along with us on YouTube. Fantastic job. Okay, then you just blew it. You just literally blew it. As I was telling you how good of a job you were doing.
Too much praise.
Too Much Friday by Rebecca Black. It's weird to us to play the Friday music at like 8 a.m. because people are just easing into their Friday. Like it's not like the weekend is almost here. The workday is almost done. It's just starting, but we got to do what we got to do. Sam, what did you find to be the story of the day? Were you more into the Lady Vols demise, or did you find yourself Team USA hockey? Because I found myself pretty pumped up for the ladies. And I only watched like the last 8 minutes of the third period and then overtime.
Yeah, I kind of found myself I was pissed off at myself because I was recording my SEC podcast kind of in the middle of the overtime, and I just got like 4 texts from my buddies like, "Oh, let's go USA, USA!" And then
so you didn't even care about the
I wasn't. I
USA.
was kind of unaware, honestly.
The Southeastern Conversation. Go check it out on the Fan Run Podcast Network. Jackson, did you watch any of the hockey game?
Like you, I watched most of the third period and overtime. And, man, that move to set up that goal, I mean, I like hockey. I love hockey, I should say. I don't know the last time I've seen a move like that in the NHL. I mean, that was just crisp. I mean, you put that girl on her face.
I got tears in my eyes.
It was beautiful.
It was very weird because I'm not a huge Olympic fan. I haven't really watched the Olympics. I don't care about the hockey team. I've only watched about 7 minutes of the hockey game. But when the captain scored the game tying goal and you just saw the jubilation, that one hit me. And then the overtime win and the celebration, they're showing the coach crying. I just found myself tearing up. I was like, why the hell am I crying? But I was like, you know what? These girls have been working so hard for this goal. Good for them.
I get all the feels when they're doing like the national anthem for the medal ceremony and everything like that.
See, I don't even stick around for that. I watched them celebrate on the ice. I was like, okay, good enough for me. Turn the channel. But watching the celebrations, watching the teammates go crazy, and then, watching the people score, and then seeing some crowd shots, and then I don't know if it's actually true, but seeing some of them, I was like, oh, it might be their parents. Like, these people look really pumped up. Maybe they're their parents, or they're just people that really care about America and wanted to go watch some sports, but they're happy. Good for them. And I brought a tear to my eye.
That's got to be awesome to go to a different country for the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, sure. Especially if you're going to watch and your team wins.
Yeah.
The team you're there to root for. Then I found myself being like, man, it sucks for Canada because this is the team they probably didn't want to lose to the most. Was the obnoxious, annoying Americans, or, their down south neighbors.
I know there were quite a few Canadian hockey fans on Twitter calling for death to Americans after the game.
Okay.
And so I just can't imagine what it'll be like if the men beat them as well.
Yeah, that'll be fun too. But like I said, I didn't really care about the Olympics. I haven't really watched it, but I got what I needed. I was able to wrap myself in the flag and celebrate America just for 15 minutes. That's good enough for me. See you guys in 2 years. Or maybe 4 months for the World Cup. Maybe I'll do it again for the World Cup.
You have the World Baseball Classic this year, too. I know you're not a huge baseball guy, but...
I'm more of a baseball guy than I am a hockey guy.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I am more of but the World Baseball Classic, that one, I don't think that one, that's like the FIBA basketball championship. That doesn't hit the same as the Olympics. I don't really care about the FIBA that plays once every, 4 years, but on the 2-year, the non-Olympic years, I don't really care about that one.
One of my buddies from high school got posted by NBC New York's Instagram yesterday, and he was doing like a civilian bobsled run.
Okay.
He's been out, like he lives out in Utah. This kid's Mormon, and he's been out at like Lake Placid's Olympic training facility just doing bobsled stuff.
Anybody can go do that, or does he have connections? I
should ask him. I think he's like training for this though.
Oh, really? He's decided he wants to be an Olympian?
This kid's insane. This is the kid that knew Levitt's brother or whatever and trained with him and like walked on to BYU's football team.
Okay.
He's just an absurd athlete. And I was texting with him and I was like, 2034 Utah Olympics. And he just sent me back 2 eyeball emojis.
More like 2030, brother. Not 2034. I'll be ready in 4 years, not 8. Did he look good? I mean, I'm sure you can't judge it, but
yeah. I mean, he just said how scary it was. He's like, I'm just the guy who's trying to get the bobsled off as fast as possible. And then I'm just holding on for dear life at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
5 G's of force at 80 plus miles an hour, which is just 5 times your body weight pulling at that speed.
On like in a contraption that you're probably not very comfortable in if you didn't grow up in a bobsled. Like
he's like my size.
If you're just hopping in for the first time at like, when you're old enough to know risk a little bit better, I bet that is a little scary. It'd be pretty cool if all of a sudden you had an Olympian in your friend group. We had one we had one 2 years ago on TalkSports. Jack's cousin was like the captain of the soccer team. Yeah. Bum, cost us. We lost, but like, just kidding, Jackie Boy. And Jackie Boy's mom, if she still listens. So we're not calling your family bums. That was just a little joke. It was really cool to have an Olympian just kind of in our group. Maybe Sam will do it again. I don't think the World Baseball Classic will get me there. Jackson, when is that? Soon, right? Like into the month? Early March?
Yeah, I want to say early March.
Seems like we got a pretty good team.
Yeah. Yeah, I got really into it. It was in part because I was playing MLB The Show and the Diamond Dynasty mode. They had a whole thing for it 2 years ago. But I got really into it, and so I'm really excited for it this year.
Do they just do this every
2 years?
2 years?
Yeah.
4th to the 17th. So it'll be over this time next month.
When was the last one, the one where Shohei struck out Trout, or was that 2 times ago? Because I feel like Shohei was still with the Angels when that happened, but he's been with the Dodgers.
I think that was last time.
So would it not be once every 4 years? Or because 2 years ago they wouldn't have been making as big of a deal about Ohtani and Trout because they weren't teammates anymore.
Every 4.
Every 4.
It is every 4.
Fraud.
Okay.
Jackson's a fraud. I love the World Baseball Classic.
That was 2022.
I just remember because like the only thing I remember from the World Baseball Classic was I tuned in to watch Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, and then Ohtani struck him out. I was like, okay, well, that's enough World Baseball Classic for me.
Wow, that was my freshman year of college.
Yeah, time flies, brother.
Yeah,
the days start coming, they don't stop coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
That's what a wise man once said. Don't forget it.
I won't.
Time keeps on slipping into the future. Never forget. Then we get to trivia, and they don't have the Lady Vols game on because it's like SEC Network Plus. They didn't have it on. But, we got the 3 shows sitting next to each other, and the drive is like, hey, guys, the basketball team's down 8 after 1. I'm like, oh, my God, really? They're going to lose this game? And then it's like, well, okay, they're only down 5 at halftime. That's all right. They'll be okay. And then the next update came about 3 minutes into the second half. It's like, they're down 15 now. And you're like, uh-oh. This ain't good for Coach Kim. This ain't good. And a 9-point third quarter, which, needless to say, does not get people fired up about whatever halftime adjustments got made. You know what I mean? It's not like any good halftime adjustments got made when you come out at home in a hole you should be the ones coming out with your hair on fire, being super aggressive. Instead, you get beat 22-9, and you go into the fourth quarter, I believe down 18.
Never led in the game.
Never led in the game. You know, you could say, hey, give them credit. They battled back. They got it all the way down to 2 with like 2.5 minutes left. But no, I'm not giving you any credit for not quitting against a team that's 11-11.
Yeah, I was going to say this Texas A&M is not a good basketball team.
No, they're not. In Tennessee, the Lady Vols were 22-point favorites.
Yeah.
This now, Sam, you were asking about missing the tournament. I still won't pretend like I know anything about the bracketology when it comes to women, but like that's 3 losses in a row, 4 of their last 5, and it seems as if they're staring down the barrel of 3 straight losses at Oklahoma, who's number 11 in the country, number 7 at LSU, number 7, and then home for Vanderbilt. So that would be 6 straight losses, 7 of their last 8, 9 of their last 11. That feels like a into the season that invokes some really big changes. A firing, maybe a historic end to a streak. I mean, Tennessee has been in every NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that's just what you got to keep alive at this point now. Like you got to pull something out of the fire at this point. I know it's going about as bad as it can, but you got to keep that streak alive. Like this program is too historic to just kind of let go of the rope like this late in the season.
Yeah, no, I mean it is gross. It is gross. I mean, the blowout victories are bad enough. Like I can, like losing to UConn by 30, like obviously that's embarrassing. That sucks, but it's UConn, whatever. Following it up by losing by 43 at South Carolina is gross. But man, I just keep looking at when you're actually like on a little bit of a win streak and playing well, you'd beaten Alabama, you'd beaten Kentucky, back-to-back ranked wins, and you're feeling pretty good. And then like Mississippi State came into Knoxville and beat you by 15. Like what the hell is that? And then of course that has started the swoon.
Yeah, I had an issue with her calling out her players after a couple of those games.
I know that was a talking point. At the time, I was like, you know what? If it was a men's team, I don't think we'd be crying about it as much. Like I think we're kind of judging the women's side here and kind of being a little unfair to women coaches. Because I think if it was a man questioning his guys, like, hey, we got to be tougher than that. We got to be better. We can't quit. We got to fight. I think we'd look at that and be like, okay, that's a little tough love, but we'll see how they respond. But after they did it, after she did it after the South Carolina game, they did bounce back and beat Missouri by 45. So I thought, okay, maybe that fixed things. And then a tough game against Texas. They lost a heartbreaker by 2. So I don't think her calling them out made them quit. I think them losing has made them quit. Like them continuing to lose and not have an answer. And last night, last night there's no excuse for it. You were 22-point favorites.
Yeah, I guess I look for the head coach to just have a little more responsibility. I mean, because at the end of the day, the head coach does play a very large, I mean, no matter what sport, and I'm not just saying this because it's women's basketball. I mean, if it was, if Josh Heupel came up and blamed his players after a loss to Alabama instead of taking some kind of blame, I would have an issue with that.
I think if that's your take, that's okay. I don't have any real pushback to that. I don't have a problem when coaches call guys out publicly. It's not actually singled out a player. Like if she came up and said like, Delaysia Cooper, you're a bum. Like that girl's soft. Like I would have more of a problem with that than the whole team. Like Barnes used to actually have a problem with that. Like Barnes, poor Lamonte Turner. I mean, it would get the raw end of the Barnes wrath after a lot of games. And I was like, man, that's got to weigh on him. That's got to ruin a guy's confidence. So I do have more problems when they single guys out. But when you're talking collectively about the team, I mean, Barnes has kind of done that this year too in terms of just, hey, we let that one get away. Hey, this team's got to realize we got to be tougher. We got to do this, this, and this. And you hope that that's like a coaching tactic. Like, hey, I know this team will respond if I call them out publicly. Behind closed doors, though, we have a good relationship and I'm still showing them love. But like everyone's different. Some people in life at your office, they respond better to, a little conflict and being called out and held accountable. Whereas some go in a shell, and if you say something to them, they're not going to try to prove you wrong. They're going to say, you can go to hell, and I'm going to quit or really mail it in and not try. You think I suck? Okay, I'll prove you right. I won't try at all. Some people are like that. And you hope that the coach knows how their team is. I always talk about it, but Phil Jackson wrote about it in his book about how, when he was coaching Jordan, he knew he couldn't really yell at Jordan in a certain way because Jordan would hold a grudge against him. Pippen was mentally kind of fragile. You had to babysit Pippen. You couldn't come out and call him out. But like he said, Horace Grant, that was my whipping boy. If I needed to get a message across to the team, I would call Horace Grant soft. I would talk about how he was sucking and how he was needed to do this, and this better. He's like, but really, I was trying to get across to the whole team. Now, it did lead Horace Grant to leaving the Bulls and going to sign with the Magic because he didn't like being yelled at by Phil Jackson, but that's how he got across to the team. And, of course, the Bulls won a bunch of championships. I always use that as an example of just you got to kind of know who on the team you can call out, how the team will respond, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if the girls quit when Kim called them out because they did follow it up with a 45-point win. They did follow it up by having a dramatic late comeback against Texas where they were down 10 with like 3.5 minutes left and then was shooting for the win down 1 with a minute left. They fought back. I think ultimately, Jax, it just comes down to I just don't think Kim Caldwell's a very good coach.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that a bit. I mean, I do think her hire was a bit premature after she just had one good season.
One good season at Marshall. I mean, she had done some stuff at the lower level, and like I'm not going to blame Danny for the hire. I think it's a Danny White hire that he tried to make with baseball, but he got bullied out of. Like I do think him hiring Kim Caldwell was Danny White saying, I'm so smart, look at this. I'm going to find the next Nate Oates. Because, look, it worked with Nate Oates at Alabama. I don't know if the women's game can't thrive under the pressure mentality of being up press because I just don't know if the girls are athletic enough to really impact the passing lanes. And, like, with Alabama or any men's team that does the press and the run and gun shoot threes, it looks a lot better when your run and gun is like if your layups are dunks that you make. Versus the women's game where your layups are even like your fast break layups are pretty contested and not to be a smart ass, but like a 70-30 proposition.
Yeah.
Like the women don't finish layups or dunks at the same level. We know that. That's part of the reason men make fun of women's basketball. I'm not doing that here. I'm just saying you don't get rewarded the same level with turnovers. Especially if you can't shoot threes and this team can't shoot threes. So, like, even when your system is clicking and you're turning the ball over and you're getting fast breaks, you're missing the layups 30% of the time and you're missing the three-pointers 70% of the time. So, like, the math just changes.
Yeah.
And also, like, SEC teams, especially good SEC teams, are going to be a little bit better at breaking pressure. There's a reason teams in the NBA don't run full-court presses. The players, the higher level you get to, the better the players are. Like, okay, if I pass it here, it's like a chess game. I pass it here, they go there. And then this is open. Now I got a 3-on-2 fast break. Boom, boom, layup. Boom, boom, dunk if it's a men's game. You can't really do it. And then when it slows down, it's in the half court. I do think Kim Caldwell has proven that she's not a very good X's and O's coach in the half court. Like, just watch the end of the Texas game there to see the shots you got. That's my take on it. I mean, it hasn't really changed. But the only thing changed, Sam, is that now I am with you in terms of being scared or at least aware of the dangers of missing the tournament. And it does feel like Danny White might have to make a move after year 2.
And it's a tough one to wrestle with because obviously 2 of these next 3 on the road, all of them pretty much against top 10 opponents, Oklahoma at 11. But then, there is some good momentum there kind of behind the scenes. Like you've got the number 1 player in the country and Olivia Edwards coming in here. And it's like, do you want to potentially kind of throw a wrench in that plan or do you want to just kind of run it back and then run the risk of potentially another bad season? And then, you kind of get the fan base that's really starting to kind of ask for being like, well, what's our coach doing here type of thing.
Almost no coach should get fired after 2 years as long as they are competitive and I do think the transfer portal giveth, you can do the 1 year turnarounds, but it also you can miss out. And I do think for whatever reason, this transfer portal class is playing worse in year 2. Like it just isn't. They aren't vibing with Kim. I don't know if she just completely whiffed on some evaluations. I just don't know if they don't like her. I don't know, whatever. But like, there is part of me, it's like, hey, the freshman class, if you can keep them here and you can get an Olivia Edwards in here, I would like to see what it looks like because she's recruiting for her system. But at the same time, man, like it's kind of like losing to Vanderbilt in football, especially like at the end of the year where Vanderbilt rubbed your nose in it and beat you by 20. At that point, somebody had to get fired. Sam, you heard it a lot. The audience knows. Like I was, labeled a Tim Banks defender because I wasn't necessarily blaming him for all the problems like everybody else was. But once you lost to Vanderbilt by 21, I was like, you know what? If anybody gets fired, no one's safe. Like if they want to fire Josh Heupel, like you can't really argue about it after he gets beat by 21 at home. Obviously, they weren't going to do that. But I was fine with both coordinators being gone, whatever. If you missed the tournament at Tennessee, same rules. Like I don't think they should fire Kim after 2 years. I think that's a little harsh, but at the same time,
we've got a standard.
You got a standard, and like you got the resources. This is a high dollar roster, and yeah, the standard's got to be at least making the damn tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine we're still one of the top spenders in women's college basketball.
Yeah,
like
sure.
there's no excuse to not be up there near the top.
Without having the numbers ahead of me, like in front of me, I would imagine we're still a top 10 spender when it comes to NIL and revenue split. Like, I mean, not to rehash the baseball argument about the Lady Vols revenue split, but like all these girls are high paid players. All these girls are making a pretty good salary. Damn sure more than any other Lady Vols in history.
Two Pros and a Cup of Joe have a
go to break.
brand new YouTube channel for the show. Just search Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
If you just do the math on this, those are 3 guys.
Be sure to subscribe.
Check out exclusive Fan Run video content on YouTube. Just search Fan Run Sports and be sure to like and subscribe.
Hey, it's Russell Smith here for ECR Total Landscapes. I had the ECR crew out to my house last year to remove multiple trees on my property, and I couldn't be more satisfied with the work they did. Not only did they cut down several trees that were too close to my house, they also grinded the stumps and cleaned up the work site, leaving my yard looking better than before. Take it from me. If you've got a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree that's threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Do what I did. Call ECR Total Landscapes for a free estimate. Tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. 865-384-2012. That's 865-384-2012. Your local tree cutting experts. These guys get the job done. Check out their website, ECRTotalLandscapes.com.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Hit the highway on the Vegas worm, fool.
Back in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It might not be fair, Jackson. I'll have to deduct some more points from that. Not exactly your fault, but got to deduct some points. Let that be a life lesson that sometimes things just happen.
Yeah, it's all right.
That affect you. You went from an A+, you're at 100, and it's quickly gone down to about an 89.
It's all right.
Still time to improve in this show, though, too.
There is still time to improve. That is true. We'll see how we go when we get Will Warren on at 9 a.m. That's a good chance. Danny White has to be pretty miserable today because this is his big hire. This was his swing. This is his, hey, I'm going to put a stamp on this. And, the narrative had been like, he's pretty good at hiring basketball coaches. He's pretty good at hiring basketball coaches. I don't know if you guys know this, but he found Nate Oates at Buffalo. That was one of his claim to fame. And again, I think he was trying to go back to that well with Kim Caldwell. And, regardless of whether or not she gets fired, I do think her approval rating has got to be like at what, like 30? Yeah. 35%.
Yeah.
And that even seems a little high. Like even if you're not on the board of like firing her, and that's fine. Like I said, I don't really want to get too rolled up about firing a coach in year 2, whatever. But like, even I'll be like, hey, she seems like she is in way over her head. She seems like she should not have gotten a job as prestigious as the Lady Vols. This isn't women's basketball talk, though. This is a macro conversation about Danny White and the athletic program. So don't be yelling at the radio about enough of the Lady Vols. This is about Danny White because he is the athletic director, and his approval rating has been slipping a little bit, too. Now, I said 35 for Kim. Jackson, where would you put Danny White's approval rating right now?
I think about this a lot. I got to say 15, if that.
Whoa, you said Danny's at 15?
Yeah.
Oh, God, Jackson.
I've got some it plays into sports.
Sure.
But like you're getting rid of G10 for some entertainment district that nobody's asking for. Nobody. I don't know a single person that wants this entertainment district.
I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like.
Yeah, but
I won't say I'm asking for it, but like I'm not against it.
It's just money going down the drain at the end of the day.
We think it's going to be money lost at the end of the day?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's going to be overpriced stuff. I mean, it's going to be
overpriced sounds like there'll be extra money coming in.
Restaurants that the average fan can't afford, hotel the average fan can't afford, on top of tickets that the average fan can't even afford. So it's just I'm getting to the point where
he wants big high dollar people coming in though. He don't want you staying there. He wants big money coming in.
Well, I mean, great for him, but big money didn't turn Neyland into what it. I mean, sure it did, but big money doesn't pack out 100,000 seats.
Yeah,
so if you want to reduce the stadium size,
he wants to add another deck. Remember, he wants to make it 120,000.
You want to make it 80,000? I can get behind maybe paying a little extra because you give us more room to sit. I don't have to sit on top of somebody else.
This is a great Danny White rant. This is
sitting
good.
on top of me.
I bet people get so excited when they say you come to sit next to him.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm pretty small.
Yeah, like you get Cody or you. Like, oh, thank God, let's go. get a lot of lard asses walking through there, and you're like, this is going to be brutal. But they see you coming, like, yes.
Cody, if you're listening, don't take offense to this, but at the
He's not
Oklahoma
listening.
game,
He's asleep.
I sat between two individuals.
He's not listening.
Cody sized. I sat right in between, and it was one of the most uncomfortable experiences of my life.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
So maybe you focus on things that the fan base actually wants, like getting the fan base into the building, and less on leaving your legacy and what you do at Tennessee. Because 20 years from now, when we have had three new athletic directors, nobody's going to be sitting back and thinking, man, what did Danny White do while he was here?
Danny's district.
Yeah, nobody's going to be thinking about that.
Unless the district is cool. All right, so you give him a 15. That feels low. Sam, what do you think Danny White's approval rating is right now?
For me, he's like kind of just right down the middle. Like, you make one bad move, and I'm probably on the wrong side of it. We do something good, and I'm like, all right, I could get behind this guy. Like, I'm honestly just kind of riding the fence 50-50.
To me, I'm at like 60, 67, 68 right now. Not super high, but he's done more. For me, he's still done more good than harm. Now, if you are someone who has him ranked lowly, I mean, you do have ammunition. Like, I'm choosing not to be super mad about the Tony Vitello thing.
I didn't even start on that.
But if you are mad about the Tony Vitello thing and you blame Danny White for that, I won't argue with you. I'm just saying I'm choosing to look at it as like, hey, those guys just had kind of two alphas going at it. Like, Danny's got to do his job as a boss, but Tony's going to take every dollar he can get for baseball. Maybe they didn't always see eye to eye, but ultimately Danny did always give baseball what they needed to succeed. That's kind of how I view it. If you don't, that's fine. I think ultimately he didn't leave for a college job. He left for an MLB job. Could Danny White have kept him? I don't know. Now, what he did after Tony Vitello bothered me in terms of, I thought he was a little spiteful in his open press conference. I thought he was really trying to diminish what Tony built. I think him, all the rumblings and talks that he was going to go outside and hire a new coach and that he wanted out of the Tony Vitello like family business, that rubbed me the wrong way. But ultimately, we hired Josh Elander. I'm pretty pumped for the Elander era. I know we're off to a good start, but like, we haven't learned anything yet. But for now, I still think we're going to be a top 3 or 4 baseball program. The stadium looks good. All's well that ends okay. Vitello seems way more upset with what happened than we do right now. Does feel like we won that breakup painfully. I'm not taking a victory lap on that, but like, Vitello's the one that kind of looks like he's like, man, I kind of wish I would have stayed in Knoxville. Whereas we seem like we are all pretty happy as a fan base. But if you're mad at Danny White about that, okay. If you're mad about the G10 stuff, okay. If you're mad about, not being able to get into games because of the way they've tried to do the traffic and the ticketing stuff, okay. Like, all those things are legitimate complaints. They just don't move me a lot. I look at football, we're in a solid place, but not a great place. I do look at Kim Caldwell and say, does seem like we're putting a big investment and not getting a big return on it. It doesn't seem like it was a good hire after all. And then like, just the demeanor and some of the tweets. Like, he's still like a 67, 68 with me. Like right there below 70.
Yeah, I think I lost a lot of the affection I had for Danny White when he just kept talking about the baseball stadium renovations and just kept talking about $10 million renovations and all this stuff. And I don't care. I don't care how much you didn't even spend. I mean, the donors paid for that. He acts like the university forked out this money. The university doesn't even pay half the coach's salaries. That's all public information. I've been down that list. He acts like the university pays all this money that they need, the talent fee and all this stuff. I would love to know what percentage of coaching staff payroll is all paid by donors. Because, like, for Josh Heupel, for example, a university list, he gets $900,000. I know Josh Heupel makes a whole lot more every year than that. But that's how much the university pays him. So it feels a little disingenuous to me.
Are you just going through are you just doing like Freedom of Information Acts? You're just going through
I had
the
to do
databases?
this for a class last semester, so the data is readily available on my mind.
Okay.
And it's just it just feels incredibly disingenuous to me. Like when you're trying to talk to sports fans and all you can talk about are financial figures.
Well, he's running a business. He's running a multi-million, $100 million business. I have no problem with Danny White focusing on money because ultimately he needs to raise as much money as possible.
Maybe that's the issue then. Maybe we should go out and get some general managers for sports and let Danny White focus on the athletic directing part of the job and less on the financial.
You really hate Danny White.
I hate some of the decisions he's making.
That chair just turns people into haters. I've listened to Sam bitch about George McIntyre for a month, and now I listened to you go through about Danny White. I was just asking about his approval rating. Save the dissertation or the manifesto for later, Jackson. Relax. Now, Buck does write in saying he didn't hire Elander. The boosters and fans forced that, which I do kind of agree with. Like, I don't know if he was going to hire Elander until everyone kind of slowed down and removed themselves from the pain and said, hey, buddy, like, what are you doing here? This is the easiest hire you can make. Like, why are you going to make this tough on yourself? He's like, oh, yeah, you're right. It probably is the best job. I choose not to believe that he was aggressively trying to hire the Coastal Carolina coach and we couldn't get it done. I choose not to believe that just because the salaries wouldn't have made sense. Him turning us down for like a 300% raise, I don't buy that. Caleb writes in, Jack's cousin is also on the inside track of making the World Cup roster too. Tanner Tessman is his name, and he is on the inside track of being on the World Cup team. So that's cool.
Sounds like we're getting TalkSports World Cup tickets.
I'm sure Jackie. I'll text Jackie and see what he can do. I don't know where America's supposed to be playing.
I feel like they're probably playing like New York or something like that.
I mean,
enough about you, Danny White. I just save it. Save it. No more Danny White stuff. Hour one's in the books. We got to go to the break. We got Will Warren coming up at 9 a.m. Let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
The flagship station for Tennessee football. Fans. Fan Run Radio.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com. At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
What's the difference between an ordinary EV and a Mercedes-Benz EV? The feeling. Electric is what gets you there. Mercedes-Benz is what moves you in ways no other automaker can. Feel the freedom of the superbly versatile 7-seater EQB. Revel in the inspired, customizable comfort of the EQE sedan. Sense the brilliant intelligence of the EQE SUV. Discover the boundless capability of the EQS SUV. And luxuriate in the flagship meets spaceship magnificence of the EQS sedan. Every Mercedes-Benz electric vehicle offers the very latest MBUX voice-activated AI software, as well as remote access to a whole host of functions via the Mercedes Me Connect app. The vehicle's electric, the feeling all Mercedes, the choice all yours. Test drive a Mercedes-Benz electric today at your local dealer or learn more at mbusa.com/EQ.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends, everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavor. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Where do you think Cameron Brink ranks in Los Angeles beauties?
You're listening to Talk Sports.
Me and Miles were discussing this over the weekend. I said she's an LA 6.
Oh, no. A big tall girl like that with long legs?
Yeah.
She's basically young Cameron Diaz. Young Cameron Diaz is no 6.
Airing every day
from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
You think she's young Cameron Diaz?
Yeah, they look a lot. They look similar. Let's pull them up next to each other. They got similar looks.
100%.
I'm not saying Cameron Brink is as hot as Cameron Diaz, but Cameron Diaz in the mid-'90s was about the top of the line, Jack. I want you to go Google The Mask Cameron Diaz, okay? And just let me know what you think.
On 1340 WKGN.
Maybe big and tall is not my thing.
I'd say your closet begs to differ.
That's pretty good. That's good. That's the line of the day so far. I've always just really hoped for a big and big store. I really don't need the tall.
Hour number 2 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. Drink the light, refreshing White Claw Hard Seltzer and drink it responsibly. Time for our weekly check-in with the one, the only Will Warren, a.k.a. Stats by Will. William, top of the morning to you, friend. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well. Wish it was a happier day in Knoxville media for sure. I think we'll get to that at the end if you haven't already. But it's I went to the game Wednesday, right? It was Wednesday.
Correct.
Or was it two? Okay. It's been a long week. And probably Tennessee's best 40-minute performance of the year, I would say. You can make an argument for Louisville, but I thought two-way, Tennessee basically without a Nigel Pack heater could have won that by 35. They were that much better than Oklahoma. And while Oklahoma's SEC record's not good, obviously, you wouldn't turn down a 35-point win over anybody. They're competent at least. And so I think Tennessee's moving in the right direction. I am interested to see if we hear more about JP Estrella's injury or whatever that might be. I heard it was foot soreness. I have heard it's not serious, but his career, being in the back of my mind, I am always, waiting and hoping that we're not about to see him, develop another sort of injury that takes him out for games at a time.
So far, x-rays have been negative. No broken bones in Estrella's foot. He wasn't in a walking boot during the Oklahoma game. And according to reports, he wanted to play in the Oklahoma game, but the coaching staff said, that ain't going to happen. So we'll see. It's not the same soreness that was related to his stress fracture last year. So I think they're hoping that this is just a short-term thing. But big man and feet are dangerous, especially when it's a guy that's already kind of had some injuries. So we'll see how they use him on Saturday, if they use him at all. I know you've been beating the drum for JP Estrella. If he isn't able to go, what would Tennessee's best path be for Vanderbilt? Is it starting Jalen Carey? Is it more Felix and Dwayne Brown playing together? Is it going small? What would you do if JP Estrella can't go?
Well, I would honestly play more small. So, and my reasoning for that is Vandy, especially given the injuries to Frankie Collins, who I know is not playing, and then it kind of seems 50-50 on if Duke Miles is going to go for this game. And while you can survive without one or the other, or without both, Vandy's perimeter defense takes a huge hit. They don't force turnovers nearly as much. They really struggle defensively in general with creating pressure without their starting backcourt. Tyler Tanner's obviously filled in really admirably there, but he's more of an offense-first guy than a two-way player. And I bring all that up because primarily Vandy has played drop coverage this year. That means they're going to sit back, try and pack the paint. Tennessee's going to have to shoot over the top of them. I would rather have a fourth shooting option out there, whether that be an Amari Evans or a Troy Henderson or whatever it might be. Run Ament a bit more at the 4 and, try my hand that way. But I don't think that's the way Tennessee is going to play based on watching Tennessee this year. I would wager we see a bit more Jalen Carey in this game. It's obviously a highly important game to him, given where he came from. I am also intrigued, not that Vanderbilt has been a bad rebounding team by any stretch. They've actually been, above average at it on the season at whole. But against better competition this year, they've really struggled on the defensive boards. And so I would like to see some Dwayne Brown minutes here. I think they're going to play Okpara regardless. And because of how bad their defensive rebounding has been, and because of the way they play defense, they do restrict rim attempts fairly well. But if you get there, you can score on them. And that makes Ament a very, very big part of this game for me. If he can get to the line 8, 9, 10 plus times, Tennessee's going to be in a good position.
One thing about Nate Ament is he is going to get to the free throw line one way or the other. But you brought up Felix Okpara. I'm not asking if you're buying him becoming an 18 or 20 points a game scorer, but his flashes against Oklahoma, legit, fool's gold, or mirage? Do you buy him as being more of an offensive threat moving forward?
Well, I thought that's not the most encouraging laugh in the world. Oklahoma, I thought, is Tennessee's least physical defensive opponent in SEC play this year. South Carolina's got less talent, but they play harder, and they will be more physical against Tennessee down low. Whether they have more success, I won't know. But I thought that was a little bit of like, you're supposed to do that. I think JP would have had a similar game. I thought Dwayne Brown did what he should have done. Carey was a couple of missed layups away from having an even better night than he did, as well as some poor free throw shooting. The thing with Okpara is I don't know that I'm going to get that on offense every night. I need to know that I'm going to get that on defense every night. I thought Tennessee did a great job in the interior for large stretches of that game. Oklahoma had to hit some really difficult shots to even stay in it as long as they did. If he can continue to bring that defensive impact, I'm willing to buy that. I need to see him be really good in a game where last year I kind of thought, not that he got played off the floor, but he simply got outplayed in both Vandy games where Tennessee, started out playing those, didn't switch, kind of tried to go one-on-one on the drives to the basket, and Okpara either didn't rotate in time or couldn't protect the rim well at all. And so what that led to, if you'll go back and watch the games, Tennessee had to start helping, had to send two to the ball on those drives, led to a lot of kick-out threes. If Okpara can handle those drives to the rim without needing the help, or if, Gillespie or Ament or whoever can, that's going to help out Tennessee's defense a lot in constricting the paint, forcing Vandy to shoot over the top of them without creating those kick-out threes from the paint. They don't quite have the same type of talent down low as they did last year, but the returners are better. So I think Tennessee really needs Felix to play, obviously not 40, but if you can get a good 25 from him, I'd be really happy with that in this game.
Well, Tennessee and Vanderbilt, two of the top 3-point defenses in the league, just kind of talk about the importance of guarding that perimeter three and really just, you kind of talk about Duke Miles there. Just what does, maybe the addition or subtraction of him kind of do in terms of the calculus of that game?
I think he's their best passer. And while Tanner's been really good this year, I do think we'll see how it shakes out voting wise. He could be a third team All-American this year. He's been that strong for Vandy. Miles does kind of make things go. Best foul drawer, best driver, best perimeter defender. He would make a huge difference for me in what type of three Vandy is able to create. If he is not in that game, a lot falls on Tanner to create for himself and for others. And I don't love that setup, given that he's kind of the only guy who can score at all three levels for them. It makes Tennessee's job simply easier if Miles can't go. Just really both ends of the court, I would say.
Tennessee's defense, how do they guard the three? Are we a good 3-point defense? Because, Stats by Wheezy wrote in saying that we allow the most 3-point attempts to our opponents per game at over 26. But that the make percentage hasn't been very good for opponents. Is Tennessee getting lucky, or are they just giving up threes but defending them really well?
Need to hear from Stats by Zach. Stats by Zach needs to weigh in on that one.
I'll reach out to him and get his thoughts. But what do you think about Tennessee's 3-point defense? Because if you tell me Vandy's going to shoot a bunch of them, Should we be alarmed?
Well, you're always going to run that risk the way Tennessee plays. Tennessee shrinks gaps really well defensively, forces a lot of longer possessions. And I mean, this isn't the first year that they're going to lead or be at the top of the SEC in 3-point attempts allowed. I mean, 4 years running, they're going to finish 300th or higher in 3-point attempt rate allowed defensively. And
Okay, that makes me feel a little better because I
Yeah.
was thinking it might be because just we have the two bigs out there on the floor this year, and that might be why we were giving up so many threes. But you're telling me this is a kind of a Rick Barnes defensive feature.
Yeah, no, this is a staple. And Tennessee has been really good at forcing long threes in the past. I don't have the stats in front of me this time out, but for a large portion of the season, they were among the top 10, top 15 in the nation in producing or forcing, I mean, threes 25 feet or further out from the basket. As we know from, NBA numbers, every additional foot out, your field goal percentage shrinks by like 1 to 2%, something around that range. That's pretty big. I mean, if Tennessee's forcing those deeper threes, that can create longer rebounds, of course, and it's tougher, but that's a good numbers game to be playing if you are allowing threes. And when I watch Tennessee play, these aren't like, Tennessee's sitting back and these are wide open shots. They're generally pretty well contested, force a lot of pull up threes, like some of the ones Pack made on Wednesday night. You just have to live with those. And I would rather give up those contested threes or those pull up off the dribble ones from a pick and roll than I would a straight line drive to the rim. And I think Tennessee's defense kind of makes that same bet.
Talking with Will Warren, Stats by Will, basketunderreview.com. Ethan Berg, is he back in the rotation for good?
We'll see. I've lived through some characters in the Tennessee rotation over the years. Derek Walker, Chris Darrington. People don't remember Chris Darrington. Dietrich Mastella. These are guys who, flashed for a bit, then they were gone. And the interesting thing to me is that Berg seems to be playing like the Amari Abram role that I anticipated. I thought Abram would do this, and he just hasn't. Now, Berg, we'll see if it sticks. I was disappointed. There are two specific plays, not that I've got timestamps or anything on them, in the second half, and it was when the lead was dwindling a bit, where Berg had an open look from three and either didn't see it or panicked or was too afraid to take it. If you're going to play these minutes off the bench for Tennessee and, give some time and give a little relief to Gillespie as we get closer to March, you have to shoot those shots. If you're open and you're here to shoot threes, you got to take them. There's no, you shouldn't be asking the question of, should I take this shot? If it's open, shoot it. That's why you're on the roster. So I would like to see more of that because that's a big issue from the two-guard spot in general to me is guys passing up open looks. Boswell's been really good at getting to his spots, I would say. I wish he would shoot more. But the only guy that I feel like has been, willing to take those shots when they're open is Troy Henderson. And whatever that says about Troy Henderson, I don't know. But I would like to see more of that from Berg, Abram, Evans, Henderson, whoever they throw out at the two going forward.
Vandy's given up the third most free throw attempts to teams in SEC play. I know that Tennessee obviously wants to be able to get to the line and kind of extend games that way. How big of a factor do you think that's going to be, just kind of knowing that Tennessee's got a size advantage on these guys as well?
Pretty big. I mean, like I mentioned, Vandy, especially once we've gotten into conference play, has not been great on the defensive boards. They've struggled with fouling defensively. I will note they have gotten a little better at it in recent games, but that has come at the expense of some implosions. We'll say the defensive end. The Oklahoma game really looms large for me as they got I can't remember who they got blown out on the road by. I feel bad now. Maybe Kentucky, but no, Arkansas. But either way, I think Vandy, the two things I worry about in this game are, one, road officiating. You never know in the SEC. I don't think that I don't notice it as much as I do in Big 12 games, actually. Home road splits officiating wise. I think the Big 12 statistically actually is the worst about that. But that, and then two, if Miles goes, or really if Tanner is really up for this game, this is the worst turnover percentage offense versus the second in turnover percentage on defense in the SEC. If Tennessee succumbs to perimeter pressure in this game, it's going to be a long day. And they've got to take care of the ball. This can't be a game where Jacoby Gillespie is turning it over at high volume. This can't be a game where Bishop Boswell is making lazy entry passes. Felix Akpar has got to protect the ball better down low. Jalen Carey can't dribble it off his foot out of bounds. So these are just little things. And I think Tennessee's gotten better about this in recent weeks, but things you've got to take care of if you want to pull off a huge road win like this.
If you want to pull off a huge road win like this, Nate Ament's going to have to be a star. But he's pretty good at basketball, huh?
No, and yeah, it's really funny to go from Robert Hubbs the third comparisons, like a month and a half ago. Yeah, seeing all these people calling him the worst 5-star in the class. And now, look, you want to look at the stats with me, buddy. He's outplayed one AJ DeBanza for about 6 weeks now. And, we'll see DeBanza's usage rate skyrocket to about 90%, given that Richie Saunders got yeeted via ACL. But Ament is clearly a very good basketball player. He's been Tennessee's best for over a month and continuing to get better and better. And it's just nice to watch because you never give up on a player too early, I would say. And I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure what your channels have been saying, but it's been funny to see the backpedaling.
Nate Ament has won everybody over. But everyone that was negative about it says that their negativity is part of the reason he's better now. The fact we bullied him into being good, I think, is a take that a lot of the fan base is looking at versus just the whole, hey, he was a young freshman that was always going to take some time to get up to speed and play. But
that's really good. That's the same thing Ohio State fans said about Ryan Day. So they told Ryan Day to kill himself, and then he was a good football coach.
Sometimes bullying does work. It didn't help that Cam Boozer was coming out of the gate, immediately scoring 30 points. Yeah. I will give those people that concession. But Nate Ament peaking at the right time. I said that he has reached, he's reached that level with Dalton Connect and Grant Williams. Not saying he's as good as them or whatever, but he's right there in that tier of Tennessee players of the last 25 years. Throw Chris Lofton in there as well, of course. I think Ament now has a seat at that table.
Yeah, I had to explain very carefully to my wife that he won't be back here next year. She's very sad about that. So tough scene, I would say. But now he's been so good lately. I mean, he's going to, at this rate, be a shoo-in, I would argue, for first team All SEC.
Oh yeah.
I don't know that he can beat out Acuff for freshman of the year in the ACC. That's going to be tight. But even so, I don't think it matters because I do think, one, Tennessee is straight up better than Arkansas, especially defensively. And two, the team over the last month and a half is playing fundamentally better basketball than they were before. I do believe that, the interesting thing about us is having it's the top 16 bracket reveal that's looming tomorrow on CBS. Tennessee's probably not going to be in it. I'd be a little surprised if they were, but they're pretty firmly on the 5 line. If Tennessee continues to play the way they are playing, especially if they pull off a win tomorrow at Memorial, looking at a 4 seed, home uniforms the first 2 rounds, and an odds-on favorite for 4 straight Sweet 16s, which, I'm going to be honest, means a lot as somebody who went to UT during the Konzo and Tyndall era.
Well, what have you seen out of Jacoby Gillespie over the last couple games? I know that maybe the shooting numbers aren't as efficient as what he's put up, but defensively and those turnover numbers as well, you've seen his assist-to-turnover ratio be really nice. What have you kind of seen differently from his game in kind of February and on?
I think he's being more patient, and I think he's learning his role a bit more. His defense has really improved. I think he's learning to trust himself on that end a bit more. I had wondered about that because of, as we talked about maybe a month ago, coming from Maryland, where you've got so much backup there. You can kind of relax a little bit. And coming from Belmont, not to say that Belmont is a bad defensive program, but it's clearly not their emphasis. He has really learned on that end for me, how to play within the system, hunt his matchup, hunt his gaps, really toning down the poor fouls too. He had a couple of nasty games early on where he was committing some ugly ones. And, the only knock on him really, I guess, is the free throw shooting, where, 76% in SEC play. I would like to see that north of 80 for him, but that's, flipping a couple of made free throws here or there. So I like what I'm seeing there. I like that he's making smarter passes. I think if you go back and watch the first 5 to 10 games, you would see some of those in transition or some of those maybe early in half court sets that were, I guess, would classify as like, hopeful passes, definitely aggressive passes. I think he's just taking smarter looks now, and that's really helped the offense.
It's a gigantic Saturday for college basketball. Will's Michigan Wolverines taking on Duke in a random non-conference game. Houston, Arizona, Tennessee, Vanderbilt. A good day of college hoops coming. You want to get smarter about it, just go to basketunderreview.com, sign up for the newsletter, sign up for the content. It's well worth it if you care about college basketball. Will, on the way out, well, before we do an official dismount, Vanderbilt 3.5-point favorites. Too high, too low, just right.
Ooh, just right. I'll say, I think, because that would imply it's a pick 'em on a neutral, which I think is correct. So you're basically giving them 3.5 for Memorial.
I'll give you a chance to say anything about West that you would like. Yeah, I know you started the segment.
Yeah,
It's
yours. Just deeply sad, man. We all laughed at some of his tweets over the years and some of his social media presence, but that's a guy who just deeply cared and made a lot of people better at their jobs. He made me a lot better at what I do. One of the earliest supporters I had alongside you, alongside Ramey, Mike, a lot of our collective of local media guys. And it's a huge bummer, but the thing I was actually thinking about in my run this morning is how he would have found a way to make fun of this somehow. If he were still around, he would have found a way to laugh about it. And it's really hard, I'm not going to lie, to find that. But I try to think of him in that light of finding the humor in some dark times. So trying to do that today. And, we'll wrap it up by saying this is a game that I'm sure he really would have loved to cover.
Will, appreciate the time as always. Well said. Talk to you next week, brother.
Thanks for having me on.
Jackson, send us a break. We'll come back. We'll dissect what Will said. We'll talk some more basketball. Let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
Citizens National Bank.
Life is more fun with a Good Life checking account from Citizens National Bank, offering extra benefits including bank travel. This September, experience the perfect fall getaway on the New England Rails and Sails Tour, or join CNB in October to chase the Northern Lights in Iceland. Get in on the fun by calling 865-429-7935.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com. Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Muchas novias, hoy tengo a una, mañana otra.
Here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios, Talk Sports rolling right along. Appreciate Will Warren coming on with us, talking a little Tennessee basketball. It is a huge game, Jackson, as you've got, Tennessee and Vandy. Not only is it just in-state rivalry going at it, but it's also you've got two of these teams that are kind of just log jammed up there in the top of the SEC, two teams that are literally right there neck and neck in terms of NCAA tournament seeding. I think, you can talk as much as you want about in-state rivals and how Tennessee needs to finish this season strong, but there's even more implications than just in-state rivalry. It's got national implications basically for us.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have 2 games against them left, and that's 2 opportunities to increase your record against Quad 1 teams. You have a 4-7 record, and I don't know how many of, I believe 3 of the last 5 teams you play are Quad 1 teams. I think
sounds right to me, honestly.
South Carolina and Missouri aren't Quad 1 teams, are they?
Absolutely not.
Missouri will be for a road game.
Okay.
Yeah. South Carolina won't be.
South Carolina will not be.
So 4 of your last 5 games are Quad 1 teams.
Correct.
And 2 of them are against the same opponent. I mean, you have an opportunity here to make a statement that you belong as a potential 3 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, Williams said, try to get into that top 16. I know he's talking about the initial reveal and the home jerseys and yada, yada, yada. I don't really care too much about the difference between 4 and 5. But if you could get to that 3 seed, I think that raises your chances of making the Elite 8 pretty drastically. I know Will said, make 4 straight Sweet 16s and how that would be a big accomplishment. And I agree, of course, like the Sweet 16 is nothing to scoff at, but I'm more focused on trying to get to a 3rd straight Elite 8 and have that one game roll of the dice again to make your first ever Final Four. And I maintain that I was wrong earlier in the season when I talked about this being maybe the best constructed team Rick Barnes has. That obviously I don't think is played out to be the case, but I do still believe that we are as equipped as ever to make a deep tournament run, just because I do think your combination of blue chip talent, your actual difference makers in Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Ament, I do think those 2 guys are your best duo that you've had in a long, long time. If you want to tell me Grant and Admiral better, okay, I won't necessarily argue about that, but to me, Gillespie handling the ball could be more impactful than Admiral was. Now, Admiral, when you lost to Purdue, it wasn't because of Admiral. Admiral brought you back. He was awesome in that game. So I'm not trying to take away from those guys. Those guys were studs, but I'd like to have a guard who always has the ball and then like a versatile wing that can take over a game. Grant Williams could take over a game in the post, but like Nate at his ceiling can do it in the post and on the perimeter. Not saying he's a better basketball player than Grant Williams was in college. I'm just saying he's a little bit more versatile. So I do think the combo between Gillespie and Ament is your best suited duo to go and make a deep tournament run. Now, the question, of course, is going to be, can at least 1 or 2 of the other guys step up? But you combine those 2 superstars, or at least, Nate's a superstar and Gillespie is half the time. Gillespie has it in him to play like a superstar, but you combine those 2 guys with a front court that at least is going to beat you up and grab offensive rebounds. That's a pretty good recipe. It's a pretty good recipe. Like one easy way to avoid an upset in round 1 against a team that you're physically superior than is to get every offensive rebound that you can get, is to go in there and just get more shots. And as long as you don't turn the ball over 20 times, you're going to outshoot them. You're going to get more attempts in them, and you're going to kind of be able to physically impose your will. So, I do think this team is set up to win the early rounds because of their physicality. And I'm hoping that they're able to win in the later rounds because they have the 2 best players on the court.
I feel like that's a trend you've seen with teams that have been there, Final Four national championship teams over the last few years. You think about, Florida last year. I know those guards were so good, but they also had a front court that could beat you up. Purdue with Zach Edey, those guys had nice front court play. UConn with, Caravan and all those guys that they have. Like, I do think championship DNA that you've seen over the last couple of years has had really strong front court play. So if you can just get a couple games strung together of, your guards playing well and Nate being what he's been over the last 10 games, you feel pretty good.
CB writes in, I've heard a lot of, quote, this team has such a wide gap between the floor and the ceiling. And he wants to know if that's really true. Now, we've been some of those people that have been saying that. He says we haven't really had any bad losses. The notion that our floor could be losing in the first weekend is dumb to me. Says he also feels like our rebound protects us, insulates us from having a stinker. I agree with the idea that our rebounding keeps us from having a stinker. I do agree with that. I don't agree with that we haven't had any bad losses.
I was going to say you blew 2 leads to Kentucky.
Those aren't bad on paper. So I understand what he's saying. Like, we haven't had any quad 2, quad 3 losses. I get the idea of it. Losing to Kentucky at home is a borderline bad loss. That Kentucky team's teetering between quad 1 and quad 2. Like, I don't want to bog you down with quad 1 talk, but like, you got to be a top 30 team. Kentucky teeters on whether or not they're a top 30 team. Matter of fact, right now, through games that happened yesterday, according to NCAA.com, Kentucky is exactly number 30. So, like, they are one bad weekend away or some things kind of moving around for them being a quad 2 opponent. And if that's the case, you would then have a loss there. That loss wasn't good by any means. I don't care what the rankings say. Losing to Syracuse on the road was a bad loss. I get that right now they're a quad 1 team. I get that. But what I'm telling you is I don't care. Because they're right there teetering on the edge as well, between anywhere from 68 to like 72, and they get to 75, then they drop down a spot. Whatever, regardless of that, they're a bad loss. Now, with that being said, I think this team now, Tennessee, is much different than that team then. Look no further than Nate Ament. Nate Ament is not the same player now as he was in November, December. We've watched that. We've got enough data to know this isn't just a hot streak. He's just a different player. He is the 5-star All-American he is supposed to be. Keep in mind, Sam, that Syracuse game was on the line, and we ran a play for Jalen Carey.
Yeah.
I mean, go back and look
about that.
Yeah, you had to go get a bucket, and Barnes said, you know what? Let's feed Jalen Carey. He's our go-to guy. And to be fair to Jalen Carey, he was your most consistent player in that game. Like, he played well against Syracuse. He was kind of the only person keeping you in that game. So I'm not even necessarily criticizing Barnes for that decision, because Jalen Carey was 10 of 16 from the field and had 22 points. So he was 10 of 15 from the field before he missed at the end. I'm just saying, if the game is on the line now, we're giving the ball to Nate Ament. And we're probably getting a bucket out of it. Nate Ament was 2 of 10 against Syracuse. He had 11 points. He was 2 of 10. We all acknowledge that he's a better player now than he was back then. Like, that's just his facts. Nate Ament and Jacoby Gillespie combined for 21 points. They were 7 of 22 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3. We're better now than we were when we lost to Syracuse. But I'm just going to say that was a bad loss. There's nothing you could tell me that makes me change my mind about that. So I'll push back to CB's point there, just for that reason. With that being said, you didn't play very good, and you had a chance to tie the game at the end. Nate Ament also had 7 turnovers. As a team, you had 17. You just didn't take care of the ball. Bad
Him and
loss.
Gillespie, 9 of those.
Say that one more time.
Him and Gillespie, 9 of those.
Oh, yep. Yeah, that feels a little unfair to Gillespie to combine those two. When Nate did 7 of them, I wasn't going to throw Gillespie in there, but yeah, Nate had 7 of them. That's one of Nate's worst games. 7 turnovers, 2 of 10 from the field. Again, not the same player. So I do think that CB's overall point of Tennessee's style and Tennessee's roster being a little bit of upset proof. I do kind of subscribe to that. Now, with that being said, it is also important to kind of acknowledge that even with Nate Ament playing better, even with the offensive rebounding, even with all those things, this team does still go on some real lulls. They do forget how to play basketball from time to time, and they've done so in each of their last games. Like, they haven't put on a I know Rick Barnes, I know Stats by Will, our boy, said that was the best game they had played all year against Oklahoma, and that's probably right ultimately. But even with that, they went on a lull from where the lead went from 18 down to 5. And it was a 5-point game with like 6.5 minutes left. Even with, maybe it being our best performance, you still fell asleep a little bit. You let LSU back in the game. You let Mississippi State back in the game. You let Kentucky back in the game, and ultimately they beat you. So, like, this team is susceptible to being upset for that reason. I just hope that, at least in round 1, you're going to be going up against a team that you're just physically superior to, and that the team is laser focused.
Why do you think the consistent runs of no scoring has been such a issue with Barnes' system the last couple of years? Because it's not just a problem from this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, especially because it's frustrating because in the last 3 years you've had a elite scorer like Dalton Connect, elite scorer, Chaz Lanier, elite scorer, combined with an elite point guard and Zakai Ziegler. This year, I think Nate Ament, elite scorer, combined with a really good point guard in Jacoby Gillespie. I won't call him elite just because to me he's an elite scoring guard. He's not so much an elite point guard. Zakai was elite at setting the table for other people. Jacoby is good at setting the table for other people. He's elite at scoring himself. So he's a really good guard. It's frustrating. Against Mississippi State, Jackson, I threw that one out a little bit because if you go back and look, when Tennessee did go on their lull, it's when they had like Troy Henderson out there with some other backups, and they were up 23, and they kind of just fell asleep, and next thing you know, it snowballed. Game got close, just like it did against Oklahoma, and Rick Barnes is like, oh, yeah, give the ball to Nate Ament. Let him go downhill. Against Oklahoma, he had 2 and 1s. Against Oklahoma, he at least had 1 and 1, I think, and another where he just got fouled and hit the free throws. Sometimes it's just hard to get the ball to your best player, I think. And I don't want to go and pretend that I have watched and studied every bit to see, is that a Nate problem or he's just not coming to get it? Is it a Barnes problem for not calling timeout or setting up a play? Is it a Jacoby problem? Is it just kind of the game gets away from him? I don't know. But this year it seems like we struggle whenever we don't give the ball to Nate Ament. And we try to force post-ups. When we're trying to run the offense through Jalen Carey or Dwayne Brown, like that's not a recipe for success as far as I'm concerned. When Ament and Gillespie aren't doing it all, it's very easy for this team to fall apart offensively. I want to say if you go back and look at that Mississippi State game, again, you're up 23. There's like 9 minutes left, 10 minutes left. So like you're trying to get some other guys in. You're trying to get some fresh legs. But I believe the run started again with Troy Henderson in, and I believe both Ament and Gillespie out of the game. Again, I know you're up 23, so I'm not going to be too hard on that. But like no time in serious basketball games, and you can argue about whether or not Mississippi State was a serious basketball game, but moving forward now that Tennessee is in what did Rick Barnes call it? The time of year where only the strong survive, I believe is what he said. At this point moving forward, there should be no game. There should be no minutes where either Jacoby Gillespie or Nate Ament are on the court. Like, you got to have at least one of those guys out there at all times now. Of course, unless it's a end of the game situation, mop up duty. But hell, Barnes kept the starters in against Oklahoma the entire time. We didn't empty the bench. Those guys were closing out that game, I think, as he's trying to teach his team, we got to close. We got to finish. 40 minutes. Got to do it. And like this team goes in offensive lulls because I think they only have 2 consistent offensive players. Like other guys can show flashes. Carey can sometimes get you a basket in the paint. Estrella can sometimes get you a basket in the paint. Boswell's mid-range game is coming around a little bit, but ultimately, Jackson, you got 2 guys that can actually create offense for people, and that's Gillespie and Ament. And those guys have to be on the court. They have to be playing well. I'm pumped for this time of year. I know this basketball season's been a little uneven and it hasn't felt exciting at all times. But now that we're here and it's the stretch run and like you talked about, 4 of the next 5 games, quad 1 games.
I mean, you have an opportunity to finish the season 8-7 in quad. I mean, and that's arguably a complete turnaround.
Oh yeah,
from
sure.
where you sit
now, like some of those might, like Syracuse might fall or
Yeah.
Kentucky might fall, whatever. But like, yeah, if you can finish with a winning record, or even if it's not 8-7, even if it's 7-8, racking up 7 wins, I would be pretty content with that. Sam, any final thoughts?
I'm just I'm taking the glass half full approach going into March of like normally with Tennessee Rick Barnes teams, I feel like we're talking about how fantastic they look in the regular season, and then people are upset with how they look in the postseason. And maybe this year it's the opposite. It just took these guys a little bit longer to kind of get going, and they're going to hit their stride here into mid-February and hopefully into March.
Tim writes in the YouTube chat, if Carey doesn't dribble it off his own foot, he will dribble it off someone else's foot. Man, it sucks that like Carey's the whipping boy of this team right now. And I'm sure Barnes gives it to him the same way. I would really like Jalen Carey to have a good game against Vanderbilt. I am a little fearful, though, that he's going to get there and try to do too much. It's a fine line. Like either he comes out and he's physically dominating and he looks good and he's there to win and he plays really good. Like that is a option. Option B is that he comes out, he's trying too hard and he's making bad turnovers and getting bad fouls. And
it does seem like a kid that just loves a revenge game, though.
Well, kind of like he got a technical. I mean, like against us in Knoxville last year. I mean, him and Zakai were going at it hard. And it's probably the time where Rick Barnes decided he was going to recruit him in the transfer portal. But like Jalen Carey played hard against Tennessee. I don't know if he had any extra sauce for us as a rivalry or whatever, but he was really good in that game. And if you remember, him and Zakai mixed it up and they got the double technicals in the first half when Vanderbilt was up like 12 points or so.
I would imagine last year it was just Mark Byington being like, hey, we're not as big of a team as these guys are. Like, I need you to go out there and set the tone in terms of physicality. And I think he stepped up to the plate doing that.
Yeah, no, he did. And he did against Houston. And, like it might be a game where he does it again. Like I said, maybe it leads to some magic, or maybe it leads to some really frustrating moments. I'm nervous to see on Saturday. Our Bill B writes in on the chat, how does Carey's game compare to Cody? Seems like they would have similar tendencies on the court. Honestly, you're not far off. Cody's not blocking any shots either. Jalen Carey's only got 1 block on the year. That's about how Cody plays. Gets blocked a lot. That's a lot like Cody. I watched Madison, a sales girl at SM, throw Cody's shot off the wall whenever they were playing out on the court. She blocked the hell out of him off the wall. So there is neither one can jump very high, but they're there to be physical.
Slow feet.
Probably should be playing football instead of basketball. Probably. There's some similarities there for sure. Good teammate, though. Cody was a good teammate. He wanted to win whenever we're going to try to run back our 3-on-3 basketball this year. We're going to try to run it back. Get Cody. Cody did hit a game winner. He knocked your team out of the tournament.
Yeah.
It's probably how Houston feels watching back on it and seeing like, man, we let Jalen Carey punk us. We've only got 3 losses on the year, and one of them's at the hands of Jalen Carey. Oh my God. It does probably have to hurt Kelvin Sampson and the boys. We'll see if he can do it again against Vanderbilt. Jackson, send us to break. We'll come back. We'll continue the conversation. Let's talk sports on Fan Run Radio.
Can't get enough Fan Run Radio? Download the free Fan Run app and take the best Tennessee sports conversations with you wherever you go. Fan Run Radio, the flagship station for Tennessee fans.
This ain't no wishy-washy, limp-wristed, kale-eating, half-ass sports radio station.
We're your in-your-face, truth-telling, say-it-loud, flag-waving, face-painting, hardcore, bring the noise, causing a ruckus, don't give a damn sports station.
Sports talk that doesn't just hang up and listen.
For the fans. This is Fan Run Radio.
Get some.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
Vol fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit Parkway today.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Jackson, you can go back and finish your thoughts on Danny White. The people are rallying behind you, saying they love a man with a good grudge. So if you got more to say about Danny, go ahead.
Well, I mean, we could dive into the rumors of a few times before Tony actually leaving, Danny not really fighting for Tony. Maybe that sparked a little bit of Tony's decision to leave.
Possibly. I mean, Vitello has come out and said that Danny was good to him and said that Danny got an unfair shake from that and received criticism that he probably shouldn't have. I don't know if that's true or not. It's the big leagues is what I keep coming back to with Vitello.
Yeah, I agree too. I've had that conversation with several people who didn't quite understand the gravity of the situation of this being. Now I know it's been pointed out that it wasn't the first time in history and actually like the first time since the 1800s. So to be politically correct here, I pointed out to people it's first time in over 100 years.
Modern history.
Yeah.
Just say modern history.
Modern
Sam,
history.
Did you see the video of Tony Vitello taking the field in Arizona?
He kind of looked like an old man.
Is Tony Vitello not cool now? Is he kind of lame now?
The people are asking.
He did look like an old man. How old is he? He's getting close to 50, right?
I don't know.
Is that too?
I feel like he's like mid-40s.
Well, I was thinking like 47, 48. Like I was
47.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was thinking 47. I mean, that's around the cutoff of mid-40s, but it's a lot closer to 50 than you probably think of.
I think he's still too young to be like, gimping around. Like he doesn't have a family. He doesn't have like a wife and kids that he's going home to and like, stressing out about post baseball. Like he's just an eligible bachelor in San Francisco.
I gotta say, the video, Matt B. Lively on Twitter, if you want to look at it yourself. But to me, maybe it's the full baseball uniform.
Well, he did that with us too.
I know, but like, did he go out with a glove? I think it's the glove.
Maybe
the glove is really like making it look worse. The jersey looks a little different. It's bigger. I don't know.
I think it's just like the walk, the limp that he's kind of got. He looks like a 55-year-old man going to the Y to play pickup, and he's like his knees are hurting.
Well, that's the part of it. Like I think if you like when I still see him walk around in his clothes now, like he still looks cool, he's still handsome, but like
it's the jersey, and the uniform doesn't seem like it's really fitting him.
Do you think it's the fact that maybe he was hanging around college kids and we were like, this guy, he's just a college kid?
Yeah, a little bit of that, but also like maybe it's the first time I've seen him walk around in his jersey like from that angle, and maybe the pants are just a lot looser because it looks like he's got no ass. He's got like the old man ass, like his pants are falling off of him. The glove is what I keep coming back to, though. The glove just doesn't. The face, the sunscreen on his face doesn't look cool either. And it does, I will gotta say, like, all due respect to Tony Vitello, a close personal friend of mine, him walking out and doing that with like 30-year-old professionals doesn't hit the same as him doing it with 18, 19-year-old young baseball players he's trying to mold. You combine that with the weird stuff he's been doing with the Giants media, and it did hit me yesterday like a ton of bricks. Like, is he just not cool now?
I think you're right. I think it might be the pants.
The pants are doing him no favors.
He looks like he's wearing sweatpants. Like, they're so baggy.
Yeah.
He just kind of looks like
it looks like he's got no ass.
Yep. He looks like a guy that you just brought up off the street.
I didn't take him for the type of guy that was just completely neglecting leg day. Like, I don't see him as in there being like, heavy squats or anything like that. I don't think he's doing that, but I thought Tony kept it tight.
I mean, I'm looking back at some pictures of him with Tennessee, and he definitely wore some tighter pants than whatever he's got here.
Yeah, the pants look frumpy. The glove and the long sleeves are just throwing me off. I just, when I saw that video, I was just like, man, is he actually lame now? Something to monitor.
Maybe it's such a new environment. Like, he's kind of lost his confidence a little bit.
Well,
and his swag and his mojo just isn't as. He doesn't have as much gumption to him.
Well, I notice I keep saying he's just not cool. I'm not saying he's ugly all of a sudden, but like, he's just not cool. And a big part of being cool is arrogance and confidence and like being able to straddle that line. No one likes a really arrogant jerk, but like Vitello was always on the right side of that. He was like super confident, top of his craft. You knew he was the man when he walked in. I wonder how he's going to handle that not being the case. Because no matter how good he is with the Giants, he's not going to be thought of as the best manager in the game. He's not going to be thought of as this genius. He's not going to be thought of as the Nick Saban of the sport. He might be acceptable, but even that only leads to like winning 60% of your games at most. Ain't like he's going to go 120-40 or nothing like that. You know what I mean? It was jarring. It was jarring seeing it.
We kind of talked about this a little bit when I filled in on the playbook this week, and just how he was basically like the MLB. It just doesn't really seem like it's a league where you can kind of have like the cool coach that's going out there and is being kind of flashy. It's just like, hey man, go sit in the dugout and do your job and make sure the lineup's right and make sure you're pushing all the right buttons, but don't go out there and be super flashy.
There's a fine line. And like, you talked about baseball, but I think even just all professional sports, the NFL, there's two guys that come to mind. One, it works. One, it seems cool. The other seems like a dork. I'm talking about Jim Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel. Jim Harbaugh gets out there in his throwing gloves and he plays quarterback with his team and he looks like a big dork. Mike Vrabel gets out there blocking his linemen, getting in the scrums and being a part of it. He looks really cool doing it. The players seem to love both though. Like the Chargers, in Michigan to an extent when he was there, they never really came out and, talked about Harbaugh being cool, but it did seem like they all like him. Like it does seem like Harbaugh always has respect everywhere he goes. Like he's just a little quirky. Like he's just a little off or a little out there, whatever you want to call it. Vrabel, on the other hand, he gets thought of as cool and like players always talk about how much they love him. So it works in the NFL with one guy, it doesn't work with the other. Basketball, and no coaches are really out there playing. I mean, maybe Steve Nash when he was with the Nets, and that didn't work. Maybe Jason Kidd gets out there to shoot around or something. You got a couple of former players.
JJ Redick?
Maybe JJ gets out there with the Lakers. Maybe Ime Udoka. Like you got more former players, so maybe it happens. I don't know. We just don't see footage of that. Baseball, I can't imagine many of those guys are out there doing this stuff.
No, I mean, really, the only time I can think of baseball managers like getting, any of the limelight is when they finally overreact to a bad call and get thrown out of the game.
Sure. Like Joe Girardi wasn't out there doing catching.
Mm-mm.
I don't think Aaron Boone was out there taking third base. Like, hey, I used to play. What's this? I don't know, man. It just.
I can tell you, Matt Quattrero for the Royals, I don't think I've ever seen him engage.
I don't think I've ever seen Matt Quattrero in my life.
Yeah.
That's the first time I'd ever heard that name.
Yeah, I've seen him engaged. I don't think I've ever seen him in my life. I understand you're a Kansas City fan, but who the hell is Matt Quattrero?
I'm saying I try to watch as many. Well, I think I watched 140 of the games last year, and I mean, I not once saw a clip of this guy like hitting to the infield or anything.
You watched 140 Kansas City Royals games last year?
I want to say that was about because I missed all of the ones when I was in Africa.
Sure.
What the hell, man?
Yeah, fake fan.
And I think that was about 10 or so games. And then there was another 10 that I just didn't watch.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't the Royals terrible last year?
They weren't terrible.
They were 82 and 80. Okay, so at least they were somewhat in contention. All right.
There were moments where they were making really big pushes, and that's when I was consistently watching every games. And
I was prepared to see like 65 wins.
No.
Okay.
They're very much on the hump of they could be a contender, a very realistic one.
Sure. Yeah.
They're just not yet. But back to the original
Watching
point.
140 games of a team to miss the playoffs has to feel like a really stupid waste of time.
Stepdad pays for MLB TV or whatever
Sure.
it is, and he lets me use it.
Sure.
So,
You still have to spend your time. I'm not saying spend your money. You still have to spend 2.5 hours
it's
of
good
your
background
evenings.
noise. I mean, if I'm doing homework and the game's on at 1 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Hey, I'm not judging you. I mean, I used to be that type of fan. There was a time I could have said I watched 140 of the Cincinnati Reds games, but then they got to the playoffs, and one year I watched them in the playoffs get no hit in game one, and then the next one I watched them lose 3 straight home games when they were up 2-0 on the Giants and lost game 5, and I said, you know what? I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think I maybe stayed the next year, at least partial. I dialed it back a lot. I stayed the next year, and then we lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates in the wild card playing game, and I said, okay, that's enough baseball for me.
I can tell you, I would probably feel the same if I have to watch another series between the Royals and Yankees with Bob Costas on the call. I'd probably feel the same way because not only do I watch my team get, shafted by the umps for the Yankees, but then I have to listen to Bob Costas be clearly biased towards the Yankees and make comments like, a ground out isn't Giancarlo Stanton's fault just because he can't run fast enough. A real comment.
I fully get on board with you every hour just having a real grudge against somebody. So first it was Danny White, and now it's Bob Costas. All right. I don't really like Bob Costas either. Go ahead, Sam.
We need an hour 3 rant.
Yeah, we'll see who Jackson hates in hour 3.
I've got quite a few.
All right, stick with us. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
At Knoxville Insurance Group, they understand the challenges many consumers face when searching for insurance coverage. That's why whether it's for you, your family, or your business, they create a coverage plan specifically for your unique needs. Knoxville Insurance Group is an independent firm, which means they aren't beholden to just one insurance company. They search multiple companies acting as your negotiator to find you the best possible policy and price. Start a quote in minutes at KnoxvilleInsuranceGroup.com or call them today at 865-694-9788.
Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Malone at Knoxville Smiles. Has it been a while since your last dental visit? If so, I'd like to invite you to come see us. At Knoxville Smiles, it's our vision to provide the best dental care in town in a relaxed, friendly environment. So if it's been a while and you've been putting it off, don't wait any longer. Come see us at Knoxville Smiles. You can schedule an appointment online at knoxvillesmiles.com or by phone at 865-539-1776.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, But real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything sizing, colors, material so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Talk Sports. Talk Sports. Talk Sports.
Talk Sports. Talk Sports from 7 to 10. Ay. Overrated, underrated, a Wednesday. Fan Run Radio, Talk Sports said, not in my house, I ain't talking to Kim, babe. John and Cody out here asking where the ops at. Tennessee Volunteers here for combat. It's the Cherokee Ghost, John Reed and Cody doing everything we can to bring Rocky Top back. Talk Sports from 7 to 10. Never leave a witness, never leave loose ends. Nico ain't nothing but a nuisance. 2026, we making new friends.
Talk Sports.
Hour number 3 kicking off here in the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. This batch of headlines and a special giveaway brought to you by our friends at Inward Half. I kid you not, Sam. I went to pick up some lunch yesterday, and there was like a middle-aged woman. I don't know how old she was, but she stopped and said, "Your hoodie is just so cute." And I said, "Oh, thanks." She said, "Is it Tennessee?" And I was like, "Well, it's not Tennessee." I said, "It's Inward Half, but, you know, as you can see, it works for game days." She said, "Oh, it's just so cute." I don't know if she really thought it was cute or if she thought I was cute, because we had exchanged, pleasantries. And by pleasantries, I mean I opened the door and she was standing there, and I was like, "Oh, are you in line?" She's like, "No, I'm waiting, but thank you for asking." So I don't know if she's like, "Oh, this guy's nice. This guy's cute." Or maybe she thought the shirt was just cute. I don't know. But if you want random compliments from women, go get you a hoodie from inwardhalf.com. And if you want 2 baseball tickets tonight, hop in the YouTube chat and tell me that you want them, and I'll pick somebody. Maybe a tiebreaker if anybody throws in a super chat. Maybe the precedent goes to anybody that throws in a super chat. But yeah, if you want 2 tickets for tonight's baseball game, good seats. They're my personal seats. I'm not going tonight. If you want them, I'll give them to you, courtesy of our friends at Inward Half. Just post in the YouTube chat that you want them, and I'll let Sam pick a winner. Again, maybe the tiebreaker goes to anybody that throws in a super chat.
You guys should have a super chat competition.
We'll throw in. We will let you know who the winner is by the end of the show at 11. So you won't have to wait all day. You can start making some plans. But yep, just go over to our YouTube page, find the live stream, give us a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribing, but just tell me you want the tickets, and Sam will pick somebody. Let's get some news. We haven't done any headlines today. Sam, what you got for us?
Thank you, John. An all-time what-if domino in college football, maybe, as Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Fernando Mendoza came out and said that he nearly committed to Georgia before joining Indiana for the 25 season, said he was really going in between the two. And honestly, I was confused. This is a classic Mendoza quote. I was lost in the sauce because they were both great situations. But he said that he tried to give Kirby Smart a call, and the call didn't go through. And he said, "All right, let me sleep on it tonight." And then I guess Signetti convinced him after that.
He won a championship at Indiana. You would have to think he'd win one at Georgia as well. So, I mean, yeah, that could have been a an all-time what if, like you said. It could have swung a title. Something about him being in that Georgia locker room wouldn't have felt right, though.
Maybe he got gotten their driving incidents straightened out, though. You know?
Maybe. Tim Tebow won a bunch of games with that Florida team that was, running amok off the field.
I told William yesterday it sounds like they just need a chaplain in the program. And a guy like Fernando Mendoza or Tim Tebow definitely served as Florida's chaplain.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is, like, they had the all-time player chaplain, and they were still doing everything.
I think they just need a governor on all those cars.
I don't think I don't think Mendoza would stop Georgia from breaking the law. And to be fair, it does feel like Georgia not having as many like criminal problems as those Florida teams were. Keep in mind, Aaron Hernandez is out there killing people. We don't know if anybody on Georgia's doing that in a serial killer type of way. I know somebody did die from the car wreck, but you know what I mean. The Mendoza seems like he just likes psycho coaches, though. He was between Kirby Smart and Kurt Cignetti. He likes just being yelled at, I guess.
I respect it.
Yeah. If I am Georgia, I don't really want to hear that. I'm more fascinated by just why Miami didn't offer him. Why, like, Miami didn't recruit him heavily. Like, did they try to get him in the transfer portal heavy? Have the damage been done by that point? Like,
I don't know.
Did they prioritize Carson Beck? Because that feels like a big mess. Big miss.
Carson Beck was clearly the best quarterback available.
Clearly.
Huge night in the NBA as Cade Cunningham just with an unreal performance against the Knicks in MSG. 42 points, 8 rebounds, 13 assists, 2 blocks as the Pistons took down the Knicks 126-111. They have beaten the Knicks in all 3 meetings so far this year as I haven't been watching much NBA this year, John, but I have been keeping up with the Pistons, and I like this team a lot. They seem like they're kind of getting that bad boy Pistons vibe back again.
They call them the Nasty Boys.
Okay, I like that.
They try to go. I don't know if that's a new thing, but I've seen that's popped up now. They don't go by the Bad Boys, but they go by the Nasty Boys.
I feel like they've kind of got just like the perfect blend of toughness and physicality, and like we'll get in your face, and also just Cade Cunningham being just uber talented.
Cade Cunningham is the man. For my money, I think he should be MVP. He's got the 3rd best odds right now at plus 700 behind Shea and Jokic. I think Cade should be MVP. Like, they're going to win the East regular season. In the playoffs, if it comes down to them and the Knicks, like, I think they've shown that they are just going to abuse. They're going to abuse Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. Like, where those guys aren't able to hide against the Pistons. That's why they do it. Is Cade just abuses Brunson and then gets cat and switches and can do whatever he wants with them. That's why they dominate them from a schematic standpoint. I don't see how that changes if they actually play in the playoffs. They all of a sudden aren't going to have somebody that can guard Cade Cunningham.
Is that like a future cornerstone of American basketball?
Cade's a beast, man.
Cade, like Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. Cade's a beast. Cade, for my money, he's the best point guard in the league. I mean, if you want to call Luka a point guard, whatever, maybe you could say Luka, but like Cade, for my money, which, I mean, he's supposed to be. He was the number 1 pick. Like, he's supposed to be that guy.
I'm addicted to watching the edits of the Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green rivalry.
I haven't seen those.
There's just the one clip that always circles
from before the draft.
Yeah. And then like there's something where he's on the Inside the NBA like panel and Shaq is talking to him about it. And he's like, yeah, we don't really have a relationship. He's just like, I mean, I was the 1st pick and you're the 2nd. And, you know, if you want to change something about that, go do something.
Well, to be fair, if I'm Cade Cunningham, I would feel really disrespected and I would be mad. I would hold that grudge. Like, they really thought this bum was worth drafting over me. We tried to make that an argument. Kind of like Peyton Manning and Ryan Leaf. Like, really? Like, you were really going down to the wire trying to decide between me and Ryan Leaf? No. And I don't even know if Peyton disliked Ryan Leaf, but I would. And I'd hold it against every team that made me try to jump through hoops. Cade Cunningham, clearly the right choice. Jalen Green's barely in the league. Like I said, for my money, plus 700, he's the MVP of the streets. He's the people's MVP this year.
Adam Silver has informed the league's GMs that the NBA plans to make anti-tanking rules for next season. and apparently some of the concepts that have been discussed. First-round draft picks can be protected only for top 4 or top 14 selections. Lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date, no longer allowing a team to pick in the top 4 in consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. Teams can't pick in the top 4 the year after making the conference finals. Lottery odds allocated based on 2-year records. Lottery extended to include all play-in teams and flatten odds for all lottery teams.
I'm going to run through these just piece by piece and give my thoughts on them. First round picks can only be protected top 4 or top 14. I'd be fine with it just being top 4. I'd say even get rid of the top 14. And I would maybe even say just get rid of all protections. Hey, you want to trade a first round pick?
Sucks if you suck.
Yeah, it sucks if you suck. Like none of this, because like that's what the problem is with the Jazz is their picks like top 8 protected. So like they're not quite they weren't bad enough to guarantee that they wouldn't be in the top 8. So there's like, hey, we're just going to pull the plug and be as bad as possible because if we can get the top 8, we get to keep our pick. I think it should be maybe top 1 protected because those odds are just so you only like a 20% chance of you winning even if you're the worst team. But yeah. Top 14's dumb. I think top 8's even dumber. Top 4, okay, whatever, but I think it should just be no protections at all. Lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date. It is funny, and a big part of why this has been such a discussion, Sam, is because we just left the NFL season. And by the time we left the NFL season, it was time to start focusing on the NBA, and we come into just blatant tanking. And, like, it's just bad timing. Like, it's whenever everybody's like, okay, we're done with the NFL now. It's over. Let's start paying attention
all
to basketball.
All the eyeballs go to the NBA.
And then immediately, like, it's been all complaining. Like, you're having this – a lot of people's first perception or first impression of an NBA season is just, wow, the Jazz are doing what? Because, like, the trade deadline was cool. That got people excited. That got people talking. But then, yeah, you just immediately go into tanking when people start paying attention. As far as freezing the odds, I don't like that either, though, because, like, what would stop a team from being bad for a year and then all of a sudden flipping the switch and then trying to make the playoffs? And then you could get a top 5 pick and still make the playoffs. I don't like that. No longer allowing a team to pick top 4 in consecutive years or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes. So you're punishing teams for actually sucking. If you're in the bottom 4 for multiple years, I do think you just actually suck. Like you're probably just not a good team. You probably do need help. I don't love that one.
I was going to say baseball, MLB has a rule that does that.
So like, in that you just can't have the top pick or be in the top 4 or what?
I'm not quite sure how it was. I know another experience from the Royals. They were bad for like 5 years in a row. And after 3 years of picking in the top 3, the 4th year, they had a later lottery pick because they could not be in the top 3 or whatever.
I'm open to that one because, like, yeah, you shouldn't be allowed to just tank for 3 years in a row like the Thunder kind of did and set yourself up. I'd be okay with that. Teams can't pick top 4 the year after making the conference finals. I disagree with this to an extent. I disagree with it really just actually not to an extent. I just disagree with this one completely. Like they're worried about the Thunder getting to pick in the top 4 because they have the Clippers pick. Or, for example, the Indiana Pacers. Like, I have no problem with what the Pacers did this year. They lost their best player. He tore his Achilles. The Pacers were in the NBA Finals, Game 7. I don't think they should be disqualified from having a top 4 pick because they lost Halliburton and Miles Turner, and they just kind of suck this year. They still play hard when I watch them. They're just not very good. I don't think they should be punished because they lost their 2 best players from last year's team, or at least 2 their best player and one of the other best. I don't think Miles Turner is better than Pascal Siakam, but you get the point. Lottery odds allocated based on 2-year records. The WNBA does this one. They kind of do a running one. That way the worst teams are actually like over a 2-year sample size. So like somebody like the Pacers wouldn't get the first pick just for being bad 1 year. A team that sucked for 2 years in a row would be would get precedent. Flatten odds for all lottery teams. I don't really like that one either in terms of the team with the 13th best record gets the same odds as the team with the worst record. That seems a little gross. Don't like that. I'm interested in Mark Cuban's proposal, which is just get rid of the draft. You just give You keep the salary allotment. And if you are the worst team, you get, let's just say, $18 million or whatever, it'd be $15 million, $20 million, whatever, to spend on rookies. If you're the 30th best team, you get like $5 million, which is kind of like what the slot is anyway. So, like, if you are Cooper Flagg last year, would you go to the place that could just offer you the most money? Or would you say, actually, I'd like to go to a better situation? I'll give up $10 million to go play with the Lakers. Now, maybe that's a bad example because everybody just want to play with the Lakers, but the Lakers can only sign one guy at that point. But, like, you know, maybe it's not every team. Maybe it's just the lottery teams get that to avoid somebody from just being like, yeah, I'll take $5 million and go play on the Thunder. Yeah, that's fine. If I'm Cam Boozer or you know, DeBansa or you know, Darren Peterson, maybe it's just the lottery teams that get to pick that. But that would punish teams for being bad. Does it also suck for teams just in bad markets? Sure. But, like, hey, I don't want to play with the Jazz. I don't care if they pay me $20 million. I'd rather make $12 million and go somewhere I want to play. You maybe should get that rights and freedom anyways, because we're allowed to go pick our job. We don't always just take the job paying us the most. And, you know, getting someone's rookie rights is pretty valuable, and you have control of them for almost 7 years. Like, that's a big part of your career. So I'd like the players to maybe have a little say. So I'm fascinated with that proposal by Cuban. I don't think the NBA would ever do that, but I'm not saying maybe they shouldn't. I think it'd be kind of cool.
I feel like that would open up kind of some different like styles of play too. Like a team like the Jazz that maybe can't go attract the star talent because nobody wants to go play over there, but like you're going to go kind of play, I don't know, maybe kind of a bad example, but like how Bucky Ball just has like his own system. Like I think it would maybe open up some opportunities for different NBA teams to kind of run some different things because they have different personnel.
Well, you had the Pacers try that last year. I mean, the Pacers went to the finals, not playing Bucky Ball, but they're like, hey, what if we take our guards like McConnell and Nembhard and these guys, and we just start picking up kind of full court, not like traps and pressure, but just say, we're just going to be on your ass the entire game. We're going to try to wear your point guard down. And you saw them wear the Knicks down, and you saw them kind of bother the Thunder and have a chance to beat them in 7. So yeah, you'd have some different styles. We'll see what they decide, but they said the gambling companies got mad. And I was on the wrong side of one night. I had Lauri Markkanen to score 25 points, and he had 22 after 3 quarters and then didn't play the fourth quarter against the Hawks. And I was like, what the hell? So I was mad about it, but you make enough people mad, they'll make a change, and it does seem like a change is coming for the NBA.
I got to say, it's kind of ridiculous that betting companies are sparking any kind of change.
No, but I think it's okay for them to hold people accountable. And, like, ultimately, like, gambling companies, you know, you say it's them, but I think they just represent the public and the people that are watching, your customers, for an example. Now, you could say, like, hey, gambling companies being upset, but really it's just because they're getting complaints from their customers, the people that are betting on games that the NBA is trying to attract. The NBA is in bed with these gambling companies, and they want people to bet because when you bet, you're more likely to watch the game. But if that's leading to people being disgruntled over basically just weird behavior, like there's no reason Lauri Markkanen shouldn't have played that fourth quarter. He should have been out there. If it takes the gamblers crying about it to make them be like, you know what, you're right, I don't have as much of an issue with it.
The Teddy Bridgewater Act was passed unanimously in Florida, authorizing K-12 head coaches to contribute up to $15,000 per year from their own funds to benefit student athletes. Teddy Bridgewater was suspended from his alma mater, Northwestern Miami High School, in 2025 after he admitted to covering food and transportation costs for his players, which was inevitably deemed as impermissible benefits. But I think it's a good rule here. Teddy was just trying to look out for the community.
Yeah, $15,000 seems like a fair cap on this, just because
it's not enough to like make it unfair competition wise.
Yeah. Now it would suck if you're a coach that can't afford $15,000 to be paying for all this stuff. And like Teddy Bridgewater does come from a place of being a rich former player, or at least, you know, a millionaire. I don't know if he's rich, but like he had NFL contracts. He should have, you know, a couple $1 million around. He can afford to spend $15,000 on his kids. It would suck if you're a teacher coaching school and not making enough money, but now you're kind of like, hey, coach, you going to pay for all this stuff too? But If you have the means, you should be able to do it. That was a dumb rule for Teddy Bridgewater. Anything else?
Sidney Crosby out of the semifinal versus Finland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. When is that game? Today, tomorrow? Close? How many days off do they get in between the hockey games?
That is today.
Today? Okay.
Yep.
So America's playing today too?
I don't have that pulled. I would imagine we do.
We played the same day as Canada the time before. I would imagine they're not getting a rest advantage in the medal round because
I would imagine.
Yes, Canada and Finland play at 10:30, and U.S. and Slovakia play at 3.
Slovakia. Let me see what the old gambling odds are on this. I imagine both Canada and America heavy favorites. All right, Canada minus 430 on the money line, USA minus 750. So yeah,
minus 750.
Yeah. Looks like we should get the Canada versus U.S. gold medal game.
That'd be awesome if we doubled up Canada and gold medals in hockey.
It would be. It would also suck if they get the men's one because we'll care about that one more than the women's one.
We'll just tell them they don't care about equality.
Yeah, it's 1-1, bro. Who cares? And they're like, yeah, but no, it's 1-1.
What do you mean?
You want to add Stanley Cups up? You want to talk about that? Who's won the most Stanley Cups?
What's the difference between the 2 gold medals?
I'm just saying that we care about men's sports more than women's sports.
I was proposing a question to potential Canada.
Yeah.
I was saying, what's the difference, Canada? Tell me.
They would say they care about men's sports more than women's, probably.
Liberal country.
Yeah.
That's not very.
Checkmate, libs.
Yeah, that's not very.
Do they have professional women's leagues in Canada? Do we have professional
I think we have
hockey
professional
leagues?
women's.
Do
I think Chimere Dike's girlfriend plays in it.
Okay. My bad. Whoops. Sorry, ladies, if you're listening. Let's go to break. It's Talk Sports on Fan Run Radio.
Fans, by the fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Ball fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft last year. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. They monitor and alert you to identity threats you'd miss on your own, even if you're careful with your personal information. And if you do become a victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to help solve your identity theft issue. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial info, so all you have to worry about is what you do with your tax refund. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% off your first year. The promo code is HERD, promo code HERD, to save up to 25% off your first year. LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, It's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of Talk Sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day, right here on the flagship station for Tennessee fans. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Sam, I took the pressure off of you. I just went ahead and made a call on the tickets.
I agree with your choice.
Yeah. I got 4. 2 guys both want to take their sons for their first games.
Perfect.
I hope they like sitting next to each other. Could be a little awkward. Hopefully they haven't said anything mean to each other in the chat. Hopefully their sons get along. But if they post their emails, write them down for me because I ain't got time to. I can't focus on the chat at all times.
I got you. I'll keep
yeah,
an eye
if you
out.
can get their emails, Lorray, Brady, send me your email addresses. I'll send you both those tickets. I got 4 of them. Shout out to Inward Half. Hope you guys have a good time at the game. Be really cool if the Suns got along really well and they were all buddies.
We might just create a
lifelong
Tennessee baseball.
friends. Yeah. This could be great.
Just power fans.
Anything about the Tennessee baseball series this weekend that you find interesting? I mean, I know it's the non-conference slate. We usually blow through this. We dominate, but is there anything that you're looking for this weekend?
Until some of those guys that are injured come back, it's kind of just the same stuff. Keep an eye out on the young guys and kind of see how they look. And I don't know, middle of the lineup, maybe. I think you saw in the midweek game, the middle of the lineup looked a whole lot better. In the weekend series prior, I thought you saw the top of the lineup look a little bit better than the middle. So I don't know. I think just kind of looking at some of the consistency.
I will say this whole entire lineup to me is still under review.
Oh, yeah. I would think the coaching staff says the same thing, too.
Yeah. It's not an insult to say they're under review, but like I'm pretty confident that Henry Ford is really good. Like I'm pretty confident that he's good. But everybody else, I kind of want to see where they end up, what they do. Like Blaine Brown looks the part too. Like I will say that he looks like an MLB player out there.
Him and Henry Ford, I don't think you have to worry about for this season.
Yeah. And I think they're probably cemented right at 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But everybody else, like Levi Clark, I know he showed some stuff last year, but like him in the 3 hole, I don't know if that quite feels right just yet. I've already talked about Chapman in the 4. Like we'll see how it goes, how it moves. You start getting some guys back. I do want to keep watching the bottom of the lineup. Like I am fascinated with Abernathy. And if Antigua's going to be able to keep hitting, like that type of stuff matters. So from that perspective, Tennessee's arms, I don't really have any interest there in the sense of like, I think we got some good arms again. Like I don't think there's much controversy when it comes to them.
Yeah. I mean, I think this pitching staff's a lot better than last year, I think, or just has the potential to be. I think last year was a lot of power arms and just kind of the same archetype of pitchers. And I think you've got a little bit more mix and match to your game this year. So I think you've obviously kept that power and some of that speed that you've got there, but I think you've got guys with really good stuff and different arm angles and stuff like that that can kind of just be challenging to pick up on as the season goes on.
According to the folks over at VolQuest, Brandon Arvidsson is expected to be back this series pitching. Manny Marin is expected back in the starting lineup tonight. So you'll have 2 of your holdovers from last year, 2 of your better players back. Where do you think Marin kind of gets inserted into the lineup? Do you have any lean there? I mean, I know he played the first series. Where was he at in that? Was he, I guess, what, sixth, maybe 1, 2, 3,
I was
4,
going to say,
5?
I kind of remember him being around 7th.
Okay, 7th. Yeah, behind Myatt and Lawless. Okay, he came at 7th. Is that right? Okay.
I'm trying to go back onto the
I'm on it right here.
Tennessee photos.
No, Myatt. Okay, Myatt was a pitch hitter. Okay, so yeah, he was at 6th. He was at 6 on the game 1. So maybe just put him kind of back there. Jackson, anything you're looking forward to this weekend when it comes to the Kent State matchup? Of course, we know the drill. Like, sweep is the goal. Run rules, if they're in effect, the goals. Like, don't make these games a sweat. Take care of business. Get guys reps. And really just get guys confidence on a new team. Just continue seeing who's rising to the occasion. Continue seeing who's performing.
Yeah, kind of like you guys said, just looking for the rest of the lineup to really establish themselves further. I believe there are some question marks, not due to talent, but just due to us not knowing outside of Henry Ford and Blaine Brown. And, I mean, that's what this time of the year is for, to figure that out, get your lineup right, and just get ready for SEC play. I will say I'm looking for Blaine Brown to hit another home run.
Yeah.
That guy looks awesome.
Yeah.
He looks really awesome. Henry Ford, looking for him probably to hit another tank as well. Just I want to get back to the 2022 levels of home runs where it's, it feels like you're more likely to hit one than you aren't. So that's what I want to see.
Last weekend to get ready, tune up. I know you play Bellarmine next week on Tuesday, but then you head out to Texas, like where the season really feels like it starts. There's some good teams over in Texas. UCLA, one of the top teams in the country. Arizona State, Arizona State, Virginia Tech, are they anything in any top 25 rankings? I haven't seen those. I know UCLA consistently in the top 5. I know they're really good, but I wasn't sure about Arizona State or Vatech.
Neither.
Doesn't seem like
Neither.
it.
Okay.
Nope.
UCLA still top 5.
Yeah.
UCLA's number 1.
I know in a couple of rankings are number 1. I know LSU's in the number 1 in a couple of rankings.
UCLA's 1 right now.
But there's like 7 different polls or whatever. I see UCLA pretty much in the top 5 of all of them. So I mean, like there'll be a big test. That'll be a big game. There'll be a lot of scouts and a lot of attention in that one. Be a nice one to go out there and win. Okay. All right. Little ballpark action, little baseball action. Okay.
Still no emails yet. I don't know if they send them to you individually. But
okay. Yeah, maybe they didn't want to share their emails on a public forum. Hopefully they follow me on Twitter and can send it to me. Get in touch with me, boys. Well, not in that way, but you know what I mean. Hey, fellas.
Never know.
Reach out. What the hell's going on with Scotty Scheffler, Sam?
Whew. Last place, right?
Yeah, dead last. What the hell's going on? He is putting for birdie finally. Let's see if he can get back to 4 over. Going to completely light my top 5 parlay on fire. All right, he's birdied. All right, maybe he's going to make a run.
I mean, honestly, like
he's back to 4 under.
He's such a hard person to bet whenever he does play bad, because if you don't bet on him, you're like, I'm stupid if I don't bet on the number 1 player in the world. And then if you do and he doesn't end up playing that great, you're like, I mean, what do you expect? I saw him shoot 5 over in 10 holes, basically.
Well, I woke up today and I did take him. You could still get some action on his first round. He needs to shoot 3 under or 3 over, excuse me, to cash that.
And he's at 4 over now already.
Yeah, so I need another birdie over the next
2 birdies,
5 holes.
Yeah. He stopped after his front 9, right?
I think he made it to like 10.
Okay. So is he through 11 now, or
he is? No, I think that was through like 12 or 13. Like he's only
got to make a couple birdies here coming in.
He just finished 13. He's got to make 1 birdie. He just made 1. He's got to make 1 more. There's another par 5 out there.
Yep.
We'll see.
It is tough though. I think he's probably thinking the same thing.
Basketball, huge weekend. Houston, Arizona, Duke, Michigan. Which one are you more into? I think it's Houston, Arizona for me.
Yeah, I was going to go there. This Duke team, I don't know. I think Michigan might go out there and I don't want to say punk them, but I don't think Duke's got the guards for them, and I think Michigan's big men are a little more physical than Duke's.
Well, if you tell me that you think they're going to go out there and punk them, maybe I should change that vote because I would like to see somebody just go in there and beat the hell out of Duke. That would be interesting. I mean, that'd be a big statement. In the SEC this weekend, we're chasing Florida. We ain't gonna catch them. They're at Ole Miss. That's another win for them. Mississippi State, South Carolina, blah. Texas, Georgia, somewhat intriguing, I guess. Texas, kind of surprisingly, 8-5 in the SEC. They're kind of right there in that next tier. The Kentuckies, I guess they're tied with Kentucky now.
Yeah, I mean, they've won 5 straight here now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a really, really good offense. They're a god-awful defense. Kind of the same thing with Georgia, so that should be a fun game offensively at least.
That was a fun game the first time they played. I mean, until the second half. It was fun for Texas then. Georgia got killed, but that's a really athletic matchup. I like watching Texas basketball just because they have a couple of just real freak athletes.
Dalen Swain is a stud. Him and Nate Amon, I think, have been the two best players. I don't want to say maybe in the SEC, but like I'd put it like Mount Rushmore. I'd put it up there with like Amon, Dalen Swain, Acuff, and one of those Florida players probably.
Missouri at Arkansas, rivalry game, but I don't feel like that's a 10.5 point spread at Arkansas. I don't feel like Missouri has anything for them, but
any game with Missouri is entertaining for the rest of the year. They're like literally playing into the tournament every single game from here on out.
And Alabama, I mean, if you believe in tired legs and all that, I mean, they did play double overtime where their best player had to play 50 minutes after being in a walking boot. So like there might be some.
Carter Knox just underwent meniscus surgery, so kind of a short Arkansas rotation already, one man down again. Missouri's a really good team at getting to the free throw line too, so I think Arkansas, you better not have 4 guys foul out of that game again either.
Alabama at LSU, that should be one that Alabama takes care of even at LSU.
Something I don't understand, and maybe you can help me.
Okay.
Understand is
all right.
How is LSU this bad at basketball?
Let me learn you something. They got bad coaches. They had to fire Will Wade because he's a rascal.
Yeah.
He's a cheater, and they just mess up the hire. Like I mean, it's that simple.
It's not their players because
the coach can't get the players. I feel like
because I just look at their football just dips into the backyard of Louisiana for half of their recruits, and I have to wonder why basketball doesn't do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know if Louisiana just has different level athletes. Like I've always heard of Louisiana being really rich recruiting for football, but you don't really hear that about basketball. There has to be something there with the culture and just the way it's set up.
Yeah, it could just be a football heavy.
I'm not going to say they were going to be world beaters, but they have had some tough injury luck this year too.
Okay.
Like I don't think they'd be, top of the SEC, but I don't think they were going to be 2-11 either.
Well, I know when he first got there, their coach just brought in basically all his players from his old school, and like that didn't work because they're not SEC level players. He couldn't pull the Kurt Signetti. You know what I mean? He couldn't bring his JMU players in and be good. He brought in guys that shouldn't have been playing at the SEC level. And they got beat. And now it just doesn't feel like he has any juice. Now, like, if you make the right hire, I'm sure LSU could get back because they have had multiple coaches that have been pretty good with them. They've made some Final Fours. Will Wade was pretty good there. He was cheating, but it was pretty good there. I just feel like they're kind of doomed to be a bottom SEC team, though, or at least bottom half. Maybe they shouldn't be in the absolute gutter, but they're not going to be good. Texas A&M and Oklahoma. That this feels like a pretty important game for A&M, but it probably feels like when they're going to lose at Oklahoma. We'll see. That would be detrimental. Buckyball kind of going the way of the Kim Caldwell season in terms of team running out of gas. The pressure thing doesn't really work when you ain't got the horses. Kentucky Auburn in the primetime slot on ESPN. They probably thought they were going to have a better matchup than 8-5 in the SEC versus 5-8. Auburn on life support, but coming into the game as 2.5-point favorites. Who do you like in that game, Sam, between Kentucky and Auburn?
I'm surprised that Auburn's favored in this game. I know they're getting it at home, but nothing that they're really doing recently is really inspiring a whole lot of confidence in me. Their defense is brutal.
In the battle of coaches that the fan base doesn't really like but has to pretend that they like for now, it does feel like Pope has an advantage over Stephen Pearl.
Yeah.
It does feel like Pope has a better team, is a better coach. But going on the road, going to be tough.
You just look what they've given up in this losing streak: 91, 88, 84, 96, 77 to us.
Look, man, I get that, sometimes there's no defense for perfect offense. I think that's the same, and you can say that in any sport, really, but like basketball in particular, like great defense ain't going to stop great offense. So I understand that Josh Hubbard maybe just hit some really tough shots, but you can't tell me, Sam, that any player that scores 35 points in a half, you got to have something really rotten at your core when it comes to like the way your defense is playing.
No, I mean, this was defensive mastermind Stephen Pearl that everyone came into the season talking about, and they give up, the second most points per game in the SEC at 80 a game, basically.
Okay, I can hear the facetiousness in your voice, but we talked about that a little bit with Will Warren. Do you think that maybe it is because now he's the head coach and not the defensive coordinator anymore? Or do you think that maybe like he just wasn't as good at defense as we all thought? Because I do think there is something to like, hey, you put even maybe Josh Heupel to an extent, if you want to make it Tennessee football related. Like if he's having to focus on everything, maybe the offense slips. You know what I mean? Like if he has to focus on everything, Stephen Pearl, if he's having to coach the team and do everything, maybe he's not able to give all of his attention to the defense. I think he can still be a really good defensive coach, but just be kind of in over his skis and being pulled in different directions. The Titans, for example, Robert Saleh talked about that with the Jets. Like, hey, I gave up play calling duties because I had to focus on everything, and I think our defense struggled with it. With the Titans, he's like, hey, I'm going back to calling defensive plays because that's what our team needs. So I do think that could maybe be an impact with him.
Maybe. He just doesn't seem like he's pushing the right buttons. Like, you were in the midst of, you had lost 3 straight games and you're going on the road to Arkansas, and he sits Keyshawn Hall, their best player, for like disciplinary reasons. And
yeah,
I mean, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes there, but like, man, you're fighting for your life to go out there for seeding and NCAA tournament chances and everything. And you're sitting your guy that's scoring 21 a game.
That tells me that Keyshawn Hall probably doesn't respect Stephen Pearl and that he's tried to be the cool dad. He's tried to be the cool coach. And like we saw him out and like after the SEC tournament, like out at bars, like, I mean, like he goes out with the team and stuff, like, and he was rolling with them was that SEC tournament? That might've been the NCAA tournament actually. Were they in Lexington last year too? They were, right?
What? Oh, Auburn?
Yeah. When we played Kentucky, were they playing there too?
Yes.
That kind of sounds right.
Yes,
yeah.
they were.
Stephen Pearl was out at the bar with the team after the game. We saw them. It's like he is the cool dad trying to be like the cool coach, but like that doesn't work whenever dad actually has to discipline you if you don't respect him. And maybe that's what's going on there with Auburn.
I also wonder how it feels to be in that locker room and to know that that guy only has that job because his dad left at such a late time.
I would imagine most of the players there came to play for Bruce.
Because, I mean, you talk about a respect thing. I personally would have a great deal issue like respecting a boss, for example, if I knew he only held that position because his dad did it before him.
You are fighting uphill there sometimes. We're not connected in Auburn, of course. We don't pay attention to all their stuff. I didn't see, if it's out there, I just didn't see it, the ground support that came out that was like, you know what? Steven, he's the real mastermind behind this. Because we did that with Tennessee baseball. Of like, a lot of players like, hey, Elander, that's the guy. Like, Vitello's a stud. Yeah. But Elander, he's the man too. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't see a lot of Auburn people come out and be like, you know what? I'm here because of him. Steven recruited me. I came to play for him. You didn't really get that. Last call on the other side. We'll wrap this show up. We'll get you to the Tony Basilio show at the top of the hour. Don't touch the dial. Stick with us on Fan Run Radio.
Tony Basilio, the official voice of the common fan, is now on Fan Run Radio. Fan Run Radio. Tony Basilio, weekdays from 11 to 1. Be there.
What's up, Fan Run Nation? This is Evan Rogers with ECR Total Landscapes. We're excited to continue our free stump grinding promotion with Fan Run Radio this year through March 31st. If you've got problem trees in your yard, give us a call and we'll come out and cut them down and grind the stumps for free when you mention you heard us right here on Fan Run Radio. Take it from Russ. We'll treat you right at ECR Total Landscapes.
That's right, Evan. I had the ECR team out to Stately Smith Manor last year, and they took down a bunch of trees for me and grinded the stumps for free. Now I don't have to worry about those trees falling on my house, and my yard looks much better. Do what I did. Call ECR Total Landscapes.
Thanks, Russ. Call us today and we'll come out and give you a free estimate. Our number is 865-384-2012. And our website is ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you: Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
Here on the program, Sam, I appreciate you being so good today, making up for the betrayal and the abandonment by Cody McClure.
Someone's got to do it.
I mean, it's great. It's great when we can go out on a Thursday night and have dinner and play some trivia. Vibes were high. Going out, hanging out, having a couple White Claws, having a couple Surfsides. Everybody was pretty happy. Scotty with a 20-foot bomb.
Another birdie?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Getting that putter hot. Let's go.
Yeah. It was nice to be out there, be able to hang out. Everybody was there. It's the first time we've done something as a company recently where it felt, I guess Brett didn't show up.
Yeah.
Brett said he was going to try to make it. He's married with a kid.
I imagine he was at a practice or something.
Yeah. I know it's tough for him, but everyone else was there.
That was fun.
Yeah. But it sucks that we then have to we have to suffer for it. You and I do.
Because yeah, like you a month or two ago, you brought up the idea of like taking us out to lunch, or taking us out to dinner every so often, like
every month, to do like a team thing and like try to improve the show and come up with new ideas and everything.
Might not be good for you if Cody has a couple beers at that that Thursday dinner once a month.
It's
like
gonna have to be
you can pencil him in for not being there on Friday.
It's gonna have to be Thursday lunch. Yeah. We get negatively impacted.
It's not fair to you.
No. Not fair to you either. Bubba, like I said, I'll give him a pass because I told him that he was good.
He's blue collar, man. He's at least out there working now. Cody probably he's rubbing off the eye boogers.
Yeah.
Opening up that Starbucks app.
Yeah. What do we miss today? Anything we need to hit?
I just saw a tweet come up on my timeline that Tennessee and LSU are making a push for 2028 number 1 overall recruit, Jaden Wade. He is a quarterback currently committed to Georgia, but I guess Tennessee wanting to get into the young number 1 quarterback recruit boat again for 28.
Okay, so never mind the idea that we were going to just kind of punt on quarterback recruiting. Now, if we do it every other year, that's okay.
Yeah.
Although I was told that the other quarterback that was kind of lower ranked, that people think that he's going to blow up. Like
Yeah, I heard he's kind of a diamond in the rough.
I know we always say that when you get 3 stars, but people are like, nope, this is like one of those cases. And to Josh Heupel's credit, they've been in early on some guys that have blown up. It does appear that this is going to be another one of those.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there and you get you a stud. Now you got to hold on to him. But the way they navigate recruiting quarterbacks is going to be one of the more fascinating things and one of the more important things that happens in college football. You going to listen to the Josh Pate, Donald Trump interview?
I mean, I think you have to for at least a little bit.
Send me the Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
Send me the Cliff Notes.
The setting of it was even funnier than the actual interview.
It was them cafeteria.
Yeah, they're at the varsity. People just eating their burger and fries watching that.
Do you think the varsity cut a check? Because otherwise, why the hell would you do that? Why would I don't know if I want the president just walking around all willy-nilly at the varsity either. I mean, I'm sure, secret security was there and everything, but like,
not the best area of town, right?
Well, I wouldn't even going there. I just mean like it was just wildly accessible. I don't know if I want him just like
Sure.
sit. Hey, if he was just sitting down at McDonald's in Knoxville, I don't know if I really want that either. Like, I think the president should be above being in the varsity. What do you have? What do you have? I just feel like, yeah, it should be above that. It's got nothing to do with being in downtown Atlanta, although I did get robbed down there one time.
Don loves himself a burger and fries, I think, though.
I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't? I love a burger and fries. I don't love a varsity burger and fries. That's why I was wondering, like, what exactly was happening there? How the hell they ended up at a varsity? I can't imagine the varsity cut them a big check, but that's pretty good publicity for them. What do you have? What do you have?
He's been getting a lot of backlash. Like, are you one of the people that's like, I would never have a political figure on my sports podcast? Or is it just like, hey, the president is, you're getting the chance to interview the president. Do you just have to do that type of thing?
It's easy to say that you would turn down an interview or whatever, but like, is the criticism that he had the president on, or is the criticism that like he's going to have the president on and it's just going to be like an infomercial where they yuck it up and like you don't actually ask any like important questions?
I feel like some of the criticism I've seen is previous Josh Pate tweets saying he would never mix politics into his sports show, and now
that's the easiest lie everyone tells. I mean, like back during the Colin Kaepernick era, like Clay Travis was beating the drum of keep politics out of sports, and then like his whole career now is politics and sports. Like what they mean when they say they don't want to talk politics and sports is like they don't want to talk about politics they don't agree with, is really what it was. They don't want to talk about politics they disagree with. I mean, of course, I wouldn't turn down an interview with the president, but I understand the criticism. Like if you're painting yourself as a serious journalist, which Josh Pate doesn't really do, and I don't mean that as an insult. Like he's not out here trying to break news. He doesn't take himself super, seriously. At least when it comes to trying to break news or like upheld like journalism ethics. But like there has been enough pushback that like, maybe you shouldn't have people on, especially right now whenever the climate's pretty hot and everything's going on and the Epstein files, we don't really know what's coming out or not out of those. Like it has the option. It has the option of aging really poorly. But no, I'm not going to blame him for interviewing the president. That's a pretty big accomplishment. Some people just want to be mad about everything. But like if your stance is like no politics, then I better not hear Donald Trump talk about anything political. Which, knowing Donald Trump, that's not going to happen. He's not going to just talk about scholarship limits in college football. And if he does talk about NIL and pay for play, he's not going to do so without referencing something that is political.
You think he made any comments on the Joey Aguilar situation?
Maybe about guys playing football too long. I could see that being a talking point of like, nah, we got to give them 5 years and that's it. None of this stuff. Because that does tie into NIL stuff as well. When I think of NIL, I do think of just guys playing football forever. Like I know it's not exactly related, but
Joey's lawyer, didn't he defend Trump too?
Yeah, in some type of case. Which I don't know how the hell they won that after watching that lawyer. Hopefully he was just there to get coffee or something. Hopefully he wasn't the main counsel.
I'm also seeing that looks as if Brandon Miller maybe was the one who went and picked up LaMelo Ball from his Charlotte crash.
I saw that's funny that he just trouble follows Brandon Miller. A pretty, I guess funny depending on who you're asking, but there's like 4 different screenshots from TikTok of all these women talking about being in Charlotte, driving, and like that same Hummer almost running them over as they were crossing the streets. Yeah, just like basically like LaMelo has been terrorizing Charlotte as a driver for a long time, and like plenty of stories of just him being reckless and just not caring.
I've seen a lot of tweets about take his license away, so
I might need to lock him up.
Get a personal driver, dude.
Might need to lock him up. All right, appreciate you, Sam. Good job. Hope you have a good weekend. The Tony Basilio Show coming up next. Stay locked in on Fan Run Radio.
Take Fan Run Radio with you on the all-new Fan Run app. Just search for Fan Run Radio wherever